We are Small and Mighty, and today we're going to be going on an adventure.
What was that?
How are we all doing, everyone? Everyone excited to get back
Yes.
into the action?
Yes,
We're
yes.
good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Very good.
I'm here in front of my empty shelves.
Yeah.
And so
Doors of inspiration.
Will has moved house again.
yeah,
Again,
yeah.
yeah.
Every-
I don't own anything.
Every fortnight, you're just going to move house.
yeah.
Yeah, that's how
Exactly.
it rolls.
Exactly.
You can have some things off of my very full shelves if you like.
Yeah.
Yes,
Or
please.
what-
If you could
I
just-
mean-
You want a picture of me?
yes, please. I was actually going to ask if I could have a picture of everyone, the framed
Yeah.
picture of everyone's face.
Yeah. I mean, my shelves are so full of stuff on top of the shelves.
Yeah.
So,
Shelves on those shelves.
I like that, Will. You're like musical chairs? Nah, not hardcore enough for me. Musical flats? Perfect.
Yeah.
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 When the music stops, you sign a new
Yeah.
contract. Yeah.
By definition, every flat that Will is in is musical.
I mean, yes, that is also very true. Cool. All right. Well, so yes, we're going to play some D&D today for about 2 or 3 hours, as always. We're at a short hour, about an hour in. But as always, anything can happen. This is improv. This is D&D. Who knows if we'll be able to hold to those times or what the hell will happen. But we'll jump into a recap. But first of all, Ryan, you have the inspiration token this week.
Oh, I do.
I feel like,
keep me
if anything,
alive for slightly
yeah.
longer.
If anything, this is a session where heroic moments may be required.
Oh.
But we find our heroes underground in a abandoned tunnel that's been repurposed by the messes into a face of some sort. The party, you started to sneak your way around. However, as we picked up last session, Christina was still separated from the group. You and Ecriador arrive back at the Five Fellows and find that apparently the rest of Small and Mighty had run off chasing some seagulls or something. Ecriador, as always, it was frustrated by the situation, but came up with a magical solution to the problem. Do you remember what that was?
Oh, it was a transportation spell. Because it's like a higher level than Christina is. He did the spell through me, so I drew some stuff on the floor, and I somehow managed to get to where I needed to go, and didn't end up as a load of atoms floating through space.
Absolutely, yes. So, yes, technically he actually cast 2 spells for you. He also cast Sending for you to communicate with
He did.
Tali to find out what location. But yes, most importantly, he cast a high-level teleportation spell through you, which only had a minimal chance for success, and you just about pulled it off excellently. Which is one of those things where the DM was a risky move on my part, because it also could have just sent you to the other side of the continent, and then that's just doubling down on the problem of you not being with the group. So,
Adam,
But
you
hey.
love to split the party.
oh, I do love this.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love it so much. Yes, so you did arrive unharmed, popping into place next to Tarling. And then kind of just to the side of you, Pebble, you were shifting in and out the ethereal plane. And while you were shifting between these planes, you caught a glimpse of something that most mortal eyes never get to see. What was it?
Ding. I saw someone pass away, and their soul. I mean, I saw one of the guards, or one of the messes. Yeah, pass away. The one that I
Killed.
the one that I poisoned, right?
Yes, I think it was the one you poisoned.
Yeah. And they were taken within the ethereal plane. They were taken into like a boat, and there was like a figure rowing away or something like that, right?
Close. So yes,
Okay.
you saw a boatman, but almost like a literal boatman.
Oh, okay.
It was half boat, half man, almost like a boat centaur.
Nice.
There was this. It was a wooden boat, this dark wooden boat, but almost like at the helm, you had this body, a humanoid figure, kind of masculine sort of shape, but with antlers coming off this head and an oar. It was part of the same boat, and it reached out and sort of grasped the hand of this messer who had passed away and pulled it onto its oar and started rowing away again through a wall, and that's when you reappeared back on the material plane.
Nice, lovely.
You continue to make your way through the base. It's kind of going separate ways a little bit. And Christina, ever the master of disguises and deception, skillfully distracted one of the messer agents. You remember how?
I drew a cat!
You drew a picture of a cat. Yes,
Close
you managed
enough.
to essentially charm this messer agent into being very interested in your cats. And he demanded to see a picture of it, so you started drawing a cat, and you managed to distract him for a long time. A generously long time.
Are we able to share a picture of the cat?
Yeah,
He's on our Twitter.
Verity actually did draw the cat.
Yeah,
we did share it on our.
We did put it on Twitter. So if you want to see that, go look at our Twitter from like a week, 2 weeks ago. It's on there. It's chef
Or I
kiss.
can do
It's
some.
beautiful.
I wonder if I can do some technical wizardry. So
No, one
carry
second.
on. Don't mind me.
I can do it right now. But
I'll let
yeah,
you figure that out.
we are.
We'll carry on for that.
There we go.
Now I described this last time, but at the actual underground tunnel, before it was a Messer base, clearly people were living here or hanging out here at the very least, and it was covered in graffiti. But amongst the various graffiti of this place, strewn across the walls of the underground tunnels, Brass spotted something out of place. Painted onto the walls were this rudimentary form of Draken writing called claw marks. I'm hearing myself echo. What's happening?
I don't know, man.
We're not
Just
hearing. I mean, I'm
an
not hearing.
incredible performer.
Yeah, booming voice. Okay, I'll carry on then. If it's just me. Yes, you call this a rudimentary form of Draken writing called claw marks, usually found scratched into the trees of the Pridmore. Do you remember what this particular message said?
I wrote it down, but
Something about a lake and a tree.
No,
A big tree and a lake, and then there's some food.
Oh yeah, I remember now.
Vaguely
Like-
right. I'll see if anyone can get me a more specific answer.
Is it the big tree? The biggest tree?
The nicest tree?
Yeah, it was like the biggest
What
tree in the forest. Or
On the
somehow.
river?
No, by the side
You're
of the
close
river.
enough. I'll close enough though. It was because
Where did I write it?
Well, that's
Have all
a really
the
good question,
elements.
Ryan. I'll let you figure that one out. You got basically the right elements, kind of wrong order, but so it's very rudimentary. Like it's very much like if you ever heard like hobo marks and things like that. Like they kind of give you vague implications. What this essentially said was food and shelter at the big tree on the river. Was the gist of what it said. Obviously, you are aware of a river running through Downbridge, but trees you're not so specifically sure. And it is again, most importantly, very strange to see this message here of all places.
Cool.
After that, you burst into a room where you found a dwarf being tortured. Dispatching the guard, you found this was not in fact Burchard, but another dwarf entirely. Do you remember who this dwarf was, and what information the message was trying to get out of him?
Yes.
Go on, Nunai.
It was a cook, a famous cook that had written best-selling recipe books. And his surname was like Wineyard or something like
His
that.
name was Rumyard Tellis.
Yeah.
Rumyard Tellis. Yes, you found this very portly, completely bald dwarf called Rumyard, who was a famous cook, and you'd heard of him, Pebble. And he was very adamant these messages were not trying to get some of his secret recipes, and he wasn't going to let up.
Yeah.
But you did from the actual conversation the torturer was saying before you dispatched him, heard what they were trying to get out of him. Do you remember what that was?
Yeah, I do.
Go on, Sarah.
He wants to know about Thorinar.
Yes, he wants to know about Thorinar.
Cool.
Which, as of this moment, although I did tell the players, the party don't know what Thorinar is. We're also going to make a point of trying to pronounce the TH properly sound of Thorinar, not Foreigner, like I did last time.
Don't worry.
He's just really racist.
Just the foreigner.
Maybe.
All these foreigners.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, the Messes are almost an invading force, so it's kind of a weird thing going on there anyway. But anyway, you freed Rumyard, you sent him on his way, you sent him back to the pub where you'll basically deal with him later, talk to him more, get some information out of him. And then, emboldened by your previous successes in moving around the base stealthily, you attempted to pull off a pincer maneuver and catch Splint unaware and flanked. But the dice gods had other ideas, and gifted Chad and Brass natural ones on your stealth checks.
Oh, yeah.
Spotting your approach, Splint raised his pistol, shooting Brass through the window to his office before holding it to Burchard's head. And although he took control of the situation, Splint's actions revealed something about the crow. What was that?
Ding ding ding!
Go on, Will.
Yeah.
She is Jenny Adler.
She
The
is Jenny Adler.
the reporter that we previously picked up, who
Betrayer.
who seemed very interested in what we were doing, and certainly Chad was very interested.
Yeah.
But yeah, it turns out she is.
And that Tali was right.
Oh, and also that she is called. No, I didn't write it down. I might have. He's referred to her as a different name.
Yeah.
Yes,
which makes
Esper.
sense.
Yeah.
Esper, that's the one.
Was the name that he was calling her. Yes.
Yeah.
But I'll see if you remember that. But yes, so we're not sure if one or the other is her real name, but yes, there is clearly two personality personas going on here. And then a few other things you picked up because Chad, you overheard a conversation between them. You discovered that they knew about your little torturing back in the basement.
I think Tali,
Yes.
Tali learned about that too. Yeah.
Tali learned about that too. A few have overheard that. But you also picked up on, I think one of you did, that there's clearly some sort of rivalry between Jenny and Splint. You initially thought maybe that was like Jenny worked for Splint, but actually seems more like they are equal footings within the messes and almost vying for one-upmanship over one another.
Also, the knowing about the torture, the speculations of it being because of the blobby boy.
Yep, that is a theory that you have not yet confirmed.
It's the same grey markings on his face.
Yeah.
Yes, so yes, Splint himself has these kind of like grey blotchy markings around one of his eyes, which the eye itself is not a human eye, clearly. It is this kind of blackened eye with this kind of silvery iris to it, yeah. I think I described it wrong last time as well, I remembered this. So what I meant to say was actually, there is no white part of the eye. It is almost like silver all the way, and then there is a black pupil in the centre. So it's not a black eye with a silver iris. It is silver all the way.
Yeah.
Kind of like slimy silver all the way, and then a black pupil.
It's not metallic, right? It's just that.
It has a kind of metallic-y kind of sheen to it, but you're not close enough really to inspect it. You can obviously try and pull it out of his head if you get to the point you can do that.
Later.
Just hold on. I'm gonna look real close. Just get up in his face and like really look at it. But
okay, let's stop the fight. Okay.
Grey, silvery kind of thing, and there's a grey blotch around his eye, which is very similar to the Messer agent you interrogated. And yes, your running theory right now is the worm slug thing might be how he knew about what the events of the
For the chat's benefit, the worm came out of the also grey part of the tortured person.
Yes,
Nura.
Nura, which is the name you didn't find out from her, but you heard them call her Nura. Yes.
Yeah.
Well done.
With regards to your echo, Adam, I think sometimes when you're talking, Unai's chat thing lights up, so it might be coming through Unai's feed somehow.
I still can't hear a double.
These
Adam,
headphones.
But it's just something, it's got on Discord. Where it's got the green outline. Sometimes when you're talking, Adam, Unai's flashes up as well.
These headphones are very open. I should buy some close ones, but yeah, I've lowered my volume, so it should be fine.
We'll keep going. If there's a problem, we'll see how it goes. I can hear it now. I've said it.
That wasn't.
But sometimes also Unai just has background sound, so it could just be like it's happening at the same time, but it's not caused by
could
right?
be.
Yeah. Correlation is not causation.
As long as you can still hear me fine, I guess it's not a problem. As long as it's not like such a bad echo, I'll just have to ignore my own voice when it turns up. But that's fine. I'm going to shift the music slightly, something a little bit more tense as we kind of pick up here. So, yes, we very much pick up with you seeing that Splint has pulled Burchard up with one hand, is holding a gun to him. You see the kind of presses the hot gun into Burchard's side, who winces in pain from it. You see Jenny Adler still kind of shocked by the moment, like this caught her unexpected. You see her almost like she kind of flinches and instinctively reaches down to the desk where you can see her mask is, almost an instinct to cover her face, but obviously it's clearly too late. In this moment, you can see the room behind Splint. It is clearly an office, but it's almost more like a laboratory. You see there's a desk covered in paperwork, but there are various alchemical things going on in the room. You can hear bubbling and steaming of flasks. And on the wall behind them, there is a large painting. This kind of waxwork painting of clearly a battle of some kind, almost medieval. You see armored knights on horses, wielding swords, charging into battle. And at the forefront of this painting is an intricate portrait of a man. Swept back black hair. Not someone you recognize. But very importantly, and very familiar to Tali, the weapon he's wielding is his blood red blade. Something that Tali has only seen in the vision.
Question about that. I don't know if we're initiative order, but that painting in particular, is there anything else in it that is identifiable to Tali as like remembering from that vision?
Yeah, we'll come to. We'll start there in a second. What I was going to say, so quickly, Splint just holds guns like, now let's not anyone do anything hasty. And before we do anything, if anyone acts in any way, I want to hear where their thoughts go, where their mind is going right now. So we'll start with Tali.
Burchard's in immediate danger, so we need to. Burchard's in immediate danger. Tali is feeling like she's gonna just, walk out to do a little trade, maybe a little.
Okay.
She knows she's important. She wants to save Burchard at all costs.
Okay. But you're like taking in the thing. You also recognize Jenny there, and you probably, I imagine, feel hurt.
Also, so that, yes.
Try like the whole situation, like what are you thinking about all of it, and then there is this painting.
And that's bad, and she's bad. She's a terrible person. I knew it. I was right.
In terms of the painting, I'll have you roll me. I'll let you pick. What kind of check do you want to make to identify more information about this? It could be investigation, perception, insight, history. I'll let you pick, and I'll flavor the information you get depending on. What you pick.
I don't really know.
I can say very clearly, like the portrait of this person. This is not Yisparov.
It's fine,
Yisparov had this kind of like pale, almost like bloody kind of skin. It's almost like grey whitish hair. This man here is clearly.
She's looking
human skinned. It's a weird way of putting it.
More for detail, like, is there like a crest that is the same, or is there like a sign that they are linked to the same organization? Also, is that guy Splint? Because Splint also has slick back hair.
Sure. Roll me insight.
Perception, insight, yeah. Either.
I'll let you do perception and insight then.
They're both the same, so that's fine.
Okay. Roll either then. We'll see how it goes.
12.
12. Okay.
Not great.
A few things are throwing you off. Like maybe it's because it's an artistic interpretation or something. With a 12, I'll say for certain you don't think this is Splint. Although Splint also has black hair, the facial structure is somewhat different, and also the painting looks to be of a time that maybe.
It could be a relative.
Could be a relative potentially, but it looks like an older time.
Yeah.
The other thing that's throwing you off is this is a blood red sword. This man is holding this painting. But the sword is different to the one Yisparov was holding. Like they're almost like it was a different weapon entirely, despite it being that distinctive. Yeah. So that's where your mind's racing at the moment. We'll move along to Chad next.
Chad is. Can I just establish how much Chad has seen? Because Chad is obviously we all massively failed the stealth check with the with the person, but I'm aware that Chad is, as far as I can see, position-wise, doesn't actually have line of sight.
Yeah. Okay. Roll me a perception check first.
Yeah, it was a perception check and a kind of a bit of a stealth thing just to see if he actually is being So perception is 4. So
4. Okay.
Not great.
Not great. I'm not going to have you roll a stealth check because you already rolled a natural one last session. Like your position has been made aware. There's a certain degree of things you will notice anyway, just because it's useful for the narrative almost. So
yeah,
there is obviously a large smash of glass. I will say that from your position and that roll, you haven't spot the Jenny thing yet. We'll say.
Right. Okay.
But you are very clear of the Burchard being gun held to head by this man.
Yeah.
You probably haven't. Your amount of combat and action, your entire focus has come down to the situation. You see your companion Burchard, a gun to his head, and you see the man holding it. Everything outside of that, whether you have vision on it or not, it's almost like tunnel vision. You don't see the painting, you don't see the room, you just see this man.
So Chad is, as I say, hyperfixated.
Yeah.
He sees 2 potential courses of action.
Okay.
For him, and he is torn between he's torn between two different things. I don't necessarily want to give away unless you want to know what exactly he's thinking there.
I don't necessarily. Kind of just where you're going. We don't have to reveal anything quite yet.
But yeah, it's very much right. This we've done very well so far through this process. Things have just changed, and we've got to do something. We've got to try something different.
Things have dramatically changed against you. I also, just upon seeing this man, Splint, first time you've seen him, you've had him described to you by Tali and Pebble, who saw him. And I'm trying to remember in Adam's head. Do you guys know the name Splint, or that? I know I've put it on, obviously Roll20, and you've seen it there. But as a party, do you actually know the name Splint?
I think Chad has. Unless Tali and Pebble, because they saw him at the train station. Whether they shared
I don't remember where, but I thought you've got the name Splint from somewhere. I think you've used it. It doesn't actually matter too much to the point I'm making, but this moment you see this man, Chad, and there is something familiar about this man. I will have you roll me. I'll let you do history or insight to see if you can pick up more things. There's a certain level of information you'll. A certain level of information you want to get anyway from this, unless you're on actual one.
15.
15. Which one was it? History or insight?
History.
History. Okay. So you're basically reaching back through your memories here, and you do recognize this man because you have sat around a dinner table with him before. He's been in your house. He's been in your mansion. He was a guest of your father's. One of your father's businessmen. You described last session how your father has these closed room, these doors, conversations, and this is one of them. This is one of those people. And you didn't have any privy to the conversation he was having with your father. But despite being, and you were at the time of an age where, very much children should be seen and not heard. So you didn't interact with this man at all, you didn't talk to him, but you did get introduced to him. And you know that this man, he is the ambassador, or at least was at the time, the Brattonshire ambassador who was situated in Riverdan.
Big boy.
So he's a native of Brattonshire who worked within the Riverdanian government as a representative of Brattonshire.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay, good. That helps. Also, the echo. I can hear a little bit of the echo as well. It might actually be Sarah as well.
Yeah, we're just talking about it in the chat. I can.
Oh,
I guess
sorry, I'm not looking at the chat. Yeah.
So I guess Adam, maybe you seems like you're coming through my mic. I don't know how. So I don't know what
the fact that I've got two headphones on in some weird way. You're just using spams.
But cool. That's very interesting.
Yes. That's your initial thoughts.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, we'll shift now to. Okay, we'll keep going on. Brask, what are your thoughts as this situation is evolving?
Well, the general rule, more immediately following pain, and the more weaker Brask is in any given moment, the less he has the ability to think critically. I think. So, having just been shot, and also generally not doing too great in terms of his health, his brain is pretty singular. It's like a quick, sort of defaulted to a fairly simple to prey dynamic. So he's thinking, and Burchard, danger, attack, I think. So he's all action. He's not thinking of anything even close to any sort of diplomatic solution.
Sure. So you're on the verge of lashing out at the threat, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Interesting. Is there anything about this? No, not new.
It's a new thing for Brask. That's kind of his reaction to waking up in the morning.
Sure. Is there anything about this scene that you want to try or do you think Brask would be at all trying to learn more about? Or do you think it is just singular focus on basically get there quick?
What could be kind of interesting, because this is whole world is pretty new to Brask still.
Yeah.
I know we've like briefly touched on it with the crow. But how much does Brask can we roll to figure out how much does Brask understand basically what a gun is?
Yes. Roll me. I'll let you do a history check on this one. That's the only real relevant skill here.
Actually, 17. Okay.
17. Okay. You probably would be vaguely aware of this, so you know that like the relationship between like humans and Draken is they're not antagonistic, but they're not on friendly terms. Humans, as you well know, roughly treat you as almost animals practically. And obviously that's not true. You have a very complex society, but they try and at the edge of the Pridmore where you are from, there is a fort known as Bogwatch, and essentially there is a platoon of guards who are put there, and they do try and keep the Draken from exiting the swamp, essentially. And those men would be armed with guns, sometimes pistols, more likely long, like range rifles. And you've seen the occasional warning shots when you get close, and probably once or twice one of your companions being shot by these guns, and it does a lot of damage. Like, you are obviously a scaled creature, and your people are scaled, so you have thick hide. You can resist claws and bites from some of the fearsome creatures of the swamp. But these bullets, they punch through, and they do a lot of damage when they hit, as you have recently experienced. And you know, again, the shell, your scales, they essentially lessen the impact of these bullets somewhat. Burchard, he's not fortified by any scales. He is a squishy, soft skin, not human, obviously, dwarf, but very similar. And with a gun pointed like at the temple of his head, that is not a good place for it to be.
In that case, I think then it's not even so much like end and to enemy sort of simple read of the situation. Brask's probably just focused on the gun.
Yeah.
He's like, it's probably one of the few things he's actually got a little bit, like, he's a little bit scared of it.
Yeah.
He'll run at a blade, he'll run at a dragon, he'll run at anything, but a gun he knows can do some damage, So
yeah,
probably just following it.
Okay. Christina, where's your mind going in this situation?
So I'm still in disguise.
You are still in disguise. You are disguised as a Mesa agent.
So I'm like, keep it cool. Don't blow your cover.
Yeah.
I'm wondering whether to do a check, see if Skint. I've already forgotten this guy's name. Let's go with Skint.
Skint, why not?
Skint. I'm like, there's Dora, there's Skint. Christina's now bad at names. That's the character development. I didn't know what happened. So I'm just wondering if, like, maybe insight check to see if he's, like, wise to the fact that I might be in disguise, or just thinks that I've burst in.
Yeah, okay. Roll me an insight check.
Natural 20!
Natural 20, okay, great.
Oh.
That's excellent. So I'll give you a few things here. First of all, it's not so much that Splint has identified you either way. Splint is very focused on the clear threat, which is, to his mind, Tali, Brask, and Pebble, Chad, and Pebble to a degree. Like, he's seen these people who are not supposed to be here, and is 100% focused on them. He hasn't paid any attention to you yet, so it's not necessarily that you've gotten away with it or haven't got away with it. It's just he hasn't even clocked you yet. Yeah. The other thing I'll give you a natural 20 is the other Mesa agent who you're trying to actually get rid of with your pincer maneuver. You can see this guy is like currently bamboozled by this situation, and he's kind of like looking back and forth, taking on a defensive stance, but it's clearly trying to almost like back out of the situation. And looks like he might be waiting for further orders about what to do next. So obviously that will let you continue to blend in if you want to. Like, you can follow what this other Mesa agent who's doing, who's clearly trying to get out of the situation. That's where your mind is going. And Pebble, where is your mind going in this moment?
Cool. So, am I right in thinking, as per the map, are we going like map? Because map-wise,
Well, sort of vaguely right now. Like
I'm.
the map is a good indication of where you currently are, but I think this is much more of a narrative moment where we're going to see where things go. And depending on what happens next, we might come back to the map. We might not touch the map again.
But I'm thinking.
So I wouldn't worry about the map. Just worry about the situation.
Because I remember having this thought last session as well. It's like, oh, I might be able to pull this off, like, and just go around and just enter that office from like some other place. Just play with the element of surprise. That was. Yeah. Obviously, Pebble. Now, more character-wise, Pebble is like very distressed at the fact that Jenny is evil. And he's losing his shit a little bit.
Okay.
But he'll be fine.
Sure. Yeah, so stress to the max, kicking up,
Yeah.
not quite sure what to do or what to do. Okay. So then coming in that almost like that heartbeat of the moment, like where time froze and your mind's race through these thoughts. Things speed up and things start to happen. You watch a Splint holding the gun to Burchard's head. He turns and says something to Jenny. It's like, you know what to do. And you watch as Jenny turns and starts walking out of the room through the door in the office. Splint, however, you watch as he just starts stepping up onto the desk and walking through the shattered window down into the warehouse where you guys are.
So Jenny, what? Jenny's going away, or is?
So if you look at the map quickly, there's a door to the south of that room. Jenny disappears through the door,
right.
the actual door to the office, whereas Splint has basically walking towards you, gun pointed at Burchard's head, and he's just basically he's not trying to let line of sight break, because if he lets line of sight break, he loses his tactical advantage. So he's actually walking towards you, and you see as he starts to enter into the warehouse, he then starts making his way like sideways, but making his way north towards where the train would be.
What is the situation with doing stuff? Like, are we in initiative order? Is it a free for all?
This is a free for all right now.
Because I know what Talia wants to do.
Okay. What do you want to do?
Start. Basically, like I guess a Splint comes out of the office. She's gonna try and like get sort of in front of him, so like they're facing each other, like, you know.
So you start turning to walk.
But like just to show like, and I'm not like aggressively, just like I think we should talk.
So you start making a move, and he just sort of pushes the gun over her head, like, I wouldn't make any moves if I were you. And he continues to sort of move along the map.
You don't want to talk? I mean,
I'm willing to talk. I just want you to stay where you are.
Oh, is he 30 feet away?
He would be coming within 30 feet, yes.
I want to cast Sanctuary on Burchard.
Okay, Sanctuary. Does it have what components does it have? That's a spell.
Yeah, it's all of them.
Okay.
All of them.
So yes, you know to do this, you have to say a magic word, and you have to do like a abracadabra hand.
Can I motion to like put my glaive away, but as my hands are behind my back, do the somatic component?
Okay. Okay, sure.
And like with the material, the material would be like, you know, like maybe some feathers and but I put behind.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like, can I do this in like sort of a sleight of hand?
Yeah, no, absolutely. No sleight of hand, because you are literally trying to use your hand in a sleight. So you'll be rolling a sleight of hand against his passive perception. So let me just tell you what that is, just so you know what you've got to beat.
Do I want to do this? Maybe this is a bad.
You can back out. Like you entirely know that you have to say and do a hand motion here. If you feel that Tali wouldn't be confident that she could pull it off, then I will not force you into this path.
Do I get to know what his passive perception is first? Is that too much? Okay.
That's too much. I'll let you know what that is when you are committed to doing something. While you're thinking about that,
I reckon it's pretty low.
Yeah, maybe.
He doesn't seem that strong.
Chad, you also had thoughts about what you wanted to do. So you can see Tali sort of like has a little twitch, but doesn't necessarily do anything quite yet. Is there anything you want to do?
What Chad wants to do is going to disrupt. So I want Tali to play through her, have the opportunity to play through her moment before Chad comes and actually, and because I don't want to step on your moment there, Sarah. But Chad is about to speak.
I guess Tali kind of wants to effectively do, I guess, what the equivalent of holding an action would be in a way. Like, she's not going to do it right now. She's not going to put her glaive away. She's just going to hold it, like, down to the side.
Okay.
In, like, a non-threatening manner. And then, if there is a distraction of some sort that throws up some chaos, she might use that opportunity to then come. But she's going to, like, basically keep Splint and Burchard always visible to her.
Yeah. Okay. So keep an eye on, you're holding an action. So I'm sorry, what action you're holding?
Well, I don't know if we're not in like actual combat. Maybe I don't want to make that specific. But basically, if there is a moment where Splint is distracted, I'm casting Sanctuary.
That's what. Yeah. Okay, that's one to know. So yeah, we don't have to be specific as holding action, etc. But you are waiting.
I'm kind of ready. I'm just seeing what happens.
Yeah.
So what's gonna happen?
That's fine. Okay. So you watch as Tali sort of twitches, starts to move, but obviously then Splint raises a threat, saying stay where you are. And then Tali, you sort of back down, but you can see Tali is tense. They are preparing to do something.
I guess she might, say like, look, you want me, then if you just let my friend go, Tali will cooperate. Just let him go. Please.
There is this look in his eye where he's contemplating, like, certainly an interesting offer, but right now I have all the power in this situation. I let him go, and I lose that.
But he's innocent, he's not involved.
That's why he's useful to me. But if you want to surrender, I might consider letting him live. As that time, you just hear weakly from Burchard, like, "Don't do it, Tali. It's not worth it." As he coughs, there's a blood leak coming out of his mouth.
Oh, sure.
Can I just check? So Brass got shot. Am I prone or am I still standing? And
Nah, unless you went down 0 HP, you're still standing.
Okay. Can I try and do something on the sly?
Sure. Talk me through it. What you thinking?
So, as this exchange is happening, and as he's pressing the gun a bit more into Burchard's head, Dusk is gonna calm down a little bit. There's been enough of a pause since he was injured for him to think a little bit, and he's gonna kind of remember some of the lessons that his friends have taught him.
Ooh.
About fighting smart rather than just fighting. So he's gonna he's gonna hold his hands up to surrender.
Okay.
As he's doing that, the claws of his toes are gonna sink into the ground, and he's gonna try and low-key cast Entangle.
Okay. So you are going to now make the sleight of hand check.
Okie dokie, I should. Okay.
Unless again
Go for
you
it.
feel like Brass wouldn't be confident enough to pull this off.
I already pressed the button.
That's fair. And I've seen what
You
the
have
answer
the
is.
hero. You have the hero token. Just saying.
You have the hero too.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have to use it. But...
So let me. What I was going to do before we reveal to anyone else, then, he has a passive perception of 13. So it's not the highest, but it's also not the lowest. So if you look for this off subtly, you need to roll higher than a 13, or 13 or higher, actually. Yeah. No, higher than 13, I think. Doesn't matter. Obviously, so what have you rolled so far?
So I've just rolled an 11.
11. Okay, so currently you are failing. Now that doesn't mean you can't pull this off, because basically
That's
what would
what I was
happen
thinking,
now, if you don't want to use a hero moment, is I will need you and him to roll initiative to see if you can pull this spell off before he pulls the trigger.
Oh no! Oh no! 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 This is... Oh boy.
Double gun help. I just realized that Pebble can massively help now.
Well,
Sorry.
I'm gonna roll initiative.
oh boy.
So, well, again, before you hit anything, I'm going to roll his initiative first. I'll tell you what you need to beat.
Oh my.
I also like also Chad does want to say something though, which might
Sure.
it sounded like it might have might
Yeah, well, this is happening now. You might still be able to say something,
fine.
but... So he's only rolled a 12 for his initiative.
Oh, that's like. It's enough that it's still
Just
slightly hard to
over.
beat. Yeah.
Just over middle of the road, it's not.
Okay.
And again, you can use your hero moment on your initiative if you want to.
Yeah.
Can you use it after or?
I'm gonna try it without.
Yep, I've always said you can roll first and choose to use it
Oh,
second.
nice.
Yeah. Okay. It's the heart of the cards, Yugi. Boom.
18.
18.
So you hold your hands up, you pretend to surrender, you can see his eyes are darting between all of you. And yeah, you with your toes, you like tap out the somatic components to your spell.
Ooh, neat.
Out of interest, with
Piano.
Entangled, does it have, with the material components, does it say like vocal, like VSM?
Sorry, yes, VS, yeah.
Yes, yeah. So there is a vocal part to it. So you basically say something in Draconic as you tap out this
Oh, shit.
thing. And
That's-
from the ground, it's just bursting
That's
through the ground like weeds and vines start wrapping up around his feet. As you pull off the spell before him. Now remind me, what does Entangle do?
Sanctuary and Burchard is a held action. It's fine.
Weeds and vines sprout from the ground in a 20-foot square, starting up from a point within range, which would be from basically. I kind of want it to be just behind Splint.
Yeah, I'm not so worried about the space necessary, but just the actual effect of it.
Okay. A creature in the area, when you cast the spell, must succeed on a strength saving throw or be restrained by the entangling plants until the spell ends.
Okay, so he makes a strength saving throw.
That's the gist of it.
Be restrained.
But can I cast Sanctuary?
Well,
I see
what-
him distract.
He rolled a 14 on his strength saving throw. What was your armor class? What was your
He needed
DC?
a 12.
12, so he beats you out. So you watch as the vines pull up, and you watch as he sees it and just kind of just jumps quickly to the side, and you see he's going to pull the trigger. Talia, I'll have you roll an initiative
Please.
check. You have to beat his 12 to get this off.
Okay. Alrighty. Let's see what this happens. 15 plus 1, 16.
16. So you quickly call off the sanctuary spell.
Yes.
So mark off that spell slot.
Yep, that's fine. That's that first level spell, I believe.
Hold on a
Yeah.
second, we're going through what ties it. So you cast Sanctuary. I'll say that's all you get to do in this moment.
That's
but
okay.
you've cast Sanctuary on him. You watch as he goes to pull the trigger, and there's kind of almost like weird twitch in his hand and eye, as your magic is potentially protecting him. So, next thing, what is your DC for this? Because he now has to beat your wisdom.
So wisdom saving throw,
It's a wisdom saving throw beating your DC.
which is 14.
14, okay. I'm going to let someone else roll the wisdom saving throw for him. So, he has a +3 to his wisdom saving throws. So, he rolls an 11 or higher on a d20. He manages to shoot Burchard. Who would like to roll a d20 for me?
Is it a
I want
+3?
to do something.
He has a +3 to his wisdom, which then obviously makes your DC essentially 11. It cancels it out. So
Yeah.
he needs to roll 11 or higher. It's literally 50-50 right now. Who wants to roll the d20 to determine
I don't.
Burchard's fate?
Nope.
Unless I can use the hero token.
I
If I
don't
roll
want
it, if I roll it as a physical one that you can't see, then
So,
Yeah. Pebble wants to cast the spell. but
before
it's
we
too
do
late.
this,
I mean, if no one's going to take it, I'll roll it myself. But
before we do that, my backup plan, since we were in initiative, was to use a bonus action attack to try and hit the gun out of his hand. I don't know if that's actually a thing that can be done.
so
angle count as an attack that you can use a bonus.
remind me the wording. So obviously you have your special magic item lets you do it as a bonus action. Remind me the wording on that. Did I write it in such that you have to do an attack first for it to work, or can you just throw it?
Let me find it. I don't know. Lost it now.
It's on the magic item on the actual dragon fang. While you read that, we'll follow this situation through first, because you can throw the boomerang regardless of whether or not he actually shoots Burchard. I'll let that happen, but we'll see if or not this is happening first.
Cool.
Who wants to roll a d20?
I'll roll it. No, I can roll it.
Go on, Will.
I also, yeah.
So, you want to get 10 or lower. That's what you want.
Oh, lower. All right.
You want to roll 10 or lower?
Straight-
11 or lower.
No, 10 or
Well,
lower.
it's just a straight
Oh.
D20 on D&D Beyond.
Straight d20. You want to get 10 or lower. And then he fails his wisdom saving throw.
Right, come on, guys. Let's get some. Save Burchard. Save Burchard. Save Burchard.
Save
Save
Burchard.
Burchard.
Save
Save
Burchard.
Burchard.
Save
Save
Burchard.
Burchard. In 3, 2, 1. It's a 10.
Oh!
Excellent.
Oh wow!
So you watch, there is this kind of like conflict in his mind as he kind of puts the gun to Burchard's head. And it almost looks like he changes his mind, and unknowingly why, he just instead points the gun at someone else and goes to shoot someone else. Because I think, if I remember correctly, with with
So he has
Sanctuary,
to choose a new attack. He has to choose a new
target.
target or lose the attack.
yes.
Which it doesn't sound like he wants to do.
So he's going to take a shot at someone else instead. But before he gets that off, can you throw your boomerang as a bonus action?
I can, but I've used both charges.
So that you cannot do it
Actually,
right now. So he's going to take a shot at... He hasn't really got a particular target in mind right now, so I'm just going to figure this out randomly. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got 4 potential options, because
Yeah,
he
who
doesn't
can he
see...
see? Yeah.
He can see all of you, but he doesn't consider Christina a threat right now, because he hasn't had a chance really to identify that situation. I need a d4. Where are my d4s? There they are. So, just going to kind of go clockwise on the map. We'll just figure this out. Tarly, you're getting the shot.
Okay, that's fine.
Which is potentially dangerous because Sanctuary's a concentration spell, isn't it?
Oh shit, that's not fine. Is it? No, it's not. It's not a concentration spell.
Then
It's
you
okay.
are fine.
Ooh, good.
Neat. Everything is going to plan.
That's a
Oh.
14 to hit.
Yeah, is my armor class.
So that hits.
Oh.
Beats it.
Damn it.
You take 10 points of damage.
That's not nice.
You just watch as he sort of stresses, and then he just goes, it's like, I'm not pissing around, and puts it back into Burchard's head. Once again, the hot barrel rests into his head, and you hear him wince.
Nobody has to get hurt.
Well, I think at this point
just
is
got-
where I would like everyone who hasn't
Well,
rolled initiative
Dad
yet
wants to do his thing.
to roll initiative.
But Will wants to do the thing.
Well,
I know, but we've got into a situation.
Can I ask a question before we go into?
Yes, you can ask
into
a question.
initiative, please?
Absolutely.
And this is stemming from the fact that I got a 4 on my perception just now to sort of see other things. That obviously you say I didn't see that it was Jenny Adler as the crow. Did I see that did Chad see that someone who was presumably the crow left through that door?
You heard
Or was
someone leave the
that,
room.
or was that out? And do I know that it was out of that door? Because if Chad saw that they went out that door, he is. Obviously, I was wanting to see if Chad's tactical idea is the same as mine. Because my suspicion is that that door would lead to link back round to behind where Chad now is. But I want to see if Chad saw enough
yes,
with a
yes.
4
Gotcha.
to make that same conclusion. Because if not, that does slightly change what
I'll
Chad's
say
about to do.
You don't see anyone particular moving, but again, you do hear someone leave the door to the south. And then,
Okay.
yes, you're in your head, you can try and piece that together in the room. So yeah, 100%, you can do what you... Will and Chad are aligned in this moment.
Okay, good.
So I just want to go
Making
through...
fresh initiative checks, or
let's say yes, because that's easier probably, isn't it?
I'm gonna make one with an advantage because vigilant blessing.
Mine's so much worse now.
giving you the high roll when you needed it.
Oh,
Let me just quickly roll.
How
for
do I
them.
roll? Can you just roll? Oh, hang on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, mine's so much worse.
You quickly update the map as we will be returning to the map in a second. But top of the so Tali, what'd you get?
13.
13. Brass, what'd you get?
6.
6.
Ooh.
Chad, what'd you get?
Also 6.
6.
Oh no.
Christina?
5.
5.
Oh my god.
Pebble!
I got a Nine, which is like 9 but
Good.
fancy.
Neat.
Good. Some lovely high rolls there, guys. Excellent work. Okay, let me quickly just readjust the map ever so
Yeah,
slightly.
I've been
So-
switching back and forth. I've been naughty.
Fine,
But
doesn't matter.
now we're not in map.
So I'm not going to move Burchard just because I'm going to say that they're in the same space and it's easier. So I'm going to say Splint's got to about there. He's not gone very far yet. The crow has disappeared from your view entirely. Entirely, you moved a tiny bit before you got shot, so you're there. But otherwise, no one's really moved.
I love
so,
how Tali went, nobody needs to get hurt just as she was getting shot.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
sorry, right?
nobody needs to get hurt. Incorrect! Bang!
What an ambulance! But
Yeah.
not for me.
Wait,
Fucking love! Get him!
why is Burchard not being moved?
Just because it's difficult for me to move. To
Oh,
another
but
one.
he's
in the same
still
space
being
as.
held.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
right. That's cool. That's
I'll take him off the map just
Yeah,
to save
yeah.
any confusion. Just put him there.
You
Just
can
chucked him
call
into a wall.
you can call token number 2 Splint or Burchard or sorry.
They don't need a ship name. It's not like
Damn
that.
it! But I want that.
We don't want them to stay together.
Tali, it's your turn.
It's my turn. Oh
You're
boy.
first.
Wow.
Is Splint not? Okay, that's fine.
No, Splint also rolled pretty awfully on his
Oh,
new
yeah.
initiative check.
Oh, okay.
Everyone rolled a 1 in initiative,
Okay.
imagine. Everyone
Okay.
is tired.
Harley doesn't want to hurt people. Doesn't want to fight Splint because Burchard's still at a big risk. So
And so although this is initiative, it doesn't have to be combat necessary. This is now just showing the kind of pieces moving as they are. You don't have to fight him. You still can negotiate. You obviously haven't actually taken any aggressive actions against him necessarily yet. So you're still in a position to potentially talk your way out of this somehow.
Cool.
Harley's, I guess, gonna try to reason with this person. Although, can I? Because I also kind of want to cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Okay.
Is with that, because that's an action. Is it also an action to talk to the?
No. As I've always said, that talking is a free thing.
Okay, that's fine.
My faults with ability checks. I think in the rules they're supposed to be an action, but the way I see it is things like thinking, so like insight checks or history checks, or talking, I see as three things. If you want to grapple something, push something, that sort of thing, that's an action to me. So I kind of play a little bit loose, but I have a rough list in my head of which ones are actions, which ones are not. But talking is not an action.
That's fine. So I'm gonna cast first of all Cure Wounds on myself to start. Ah, that was sad. I rolled a 1. Yeah. Fine. That's something. And Tali is going to say, kind of, you want a bargaining chip, so let me take his place, and you let him go.
Ooh.
We can talk,
Roll me a
and you
persuasion
can point the
check.
gun at me. Persuasion check. Oh, I'm not good at these. Let's see what happens. That is a 5.
5. He's holding the gun again and it's just like, it is a tempting offer. I could succeed where Esper did not. I tell you what, if you and Chadronisius' boy Go and get on the train right now. I'll leave Burchard behind when I get on the train. But otherwise, no deal. And I'm not letting him go until I get there. And of course, you'll leave your weapons here.
Is Chad nearby?
You see Chad's down, if you look on the map, he's down into your sort of southwest. Chad looks like he's about to sprint backward through the doors to go and try and figure out where the crow's gone.
No, he's not.
Okay, no, he's not.
I just wanted to know if Chad.
The DM is incorrect. Okay, so you see Chad is.
You know what he's thinking.
Clearly not. You see Chad down to the side. You are unsure what he's gonna do next.
Yeah, can I inside check Chad, to try and get a vibe check on how does he feel about this offer? Is he good? Does he know with it?
Well, I won't do an inside check necessarily, but I'll just let Chad will describe what Chad is looking like right now. Does his body look like he's in a fight or flight situation? You guys have worked together a while now. Also, you get some basic information off the top of your head.
Chad looks conflicted, and he's got a vibe of defeat in his face, and also he looks resolved and defeated at the same time, if that makes sense.
Conflicted.
I don't want to start talking before it gets to his turn. Otherwise,
all sorts of things can happen before it's
That's
Chad's
like
turn.
an open book.
Yeah. Chad does not look like he's getting ready to sprint at someone with a sword drawn. He looks.
You're thinking alternative ways out of this, I guess.
Yeah,
that's obvious.
Chad is thinking, and he's not looking particularly happy with any of the things that he's thinking about.
Yeah.
Tali's gonna ask
think of a happy place.
If Tali agrees, will you let Burchard go now?
I've said my piece. I'll drop him off when I get on the train.
Even if I agree to go on the train, you.
Only if you agree to go on the train. You and Chad. Otherwise, Burchard is coming with me. Otherwise, how can I possibly guarantee my own safety?
We make it a deal. You'll have our word.
Your word means nothing to me.
Well, it should. Tali doesn't know what. Okay, Tali doesn't know what she wants to do.
That's fine. You don't have to do anything right now.
But she might start. I want to keep Splint in my line of sight.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe start walking towards the train.
Okay.
Kind of in a way of
Yeah.
It can still go either way because he said he's gonna drop Burchard off at the train, so I'd also have to come to the train. So let's just start going that way and let's think about it.
Well, he said you have to get on the train.
Yeah, but he's not gonna let Burchard go until he is by the train.
Yeah,
so I'm not getting on the train until he's by the train.
Okay, fair enough.
Because otherwise, I could get on, he could just shoot Burchard. So
that is fair. Okay, so as far as movement is concerned, this is sort of combat rules, so you can move
30
up
feet.
30 feet, so 6 squares.
But I want to keep him in my.
You don't have to move all 6. I'm saying you can move up to. So move over.
How do I keep him in my line of sight?
If you kind of go here-ish, you'll be seeing them.
She'll start walking.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, let's just stay here for now. I don't want to go too far.
Yeah. Pebble, it's your turn next.
So I was thinking about, how much does Splint acknowledge me at the moment? Because I'm behind Brass, right?
You see, you're not really sure. He is clearly scanning, his eyes are darting between all of you, and although Brass is, more or less obscuring you, he does look in your direction. You can see he kind of considers it, apart from essentially the random messer agent in the middle of the room and Christina, who looks like a messer agent, he is darting over all of you as a threat. And it is unconcerting to see that kind of strange, almost like alien-looking eye kind of glancing your direction.
That's a bit creepy. 45 feet, huh? I am divided.
You also don't have to do anything if you feel like Pebble's unprepared.
No, I mean, okay, so I was thinking Vortex Warp Burchard. But obviously depending on how, because it's somatic and verbal. So depending on how loud I am with my actions, not just with the verbal thing.
So I'll give you another thing, like, now they're in combat situation, that wouldn't be true. I mean, okay, mechanically speaking, he currently isn't holding in action. Although he's threatening Burchard with a gun, technically speaking, you could do anything and he can't react to it yet. Also, not that you fully understand it, but as a player, Sanctuary is in play, which means also even if he does try and shoot Burchard, there's still a chance he might not be able to do it.
Yeah, but
so your chances of pulling something else off...
There's a chance.
But the chance was like 50-50, wasn't there?
Yeah, it's not a high chance.
Right.
But like I'm saying, basically right now, like if we took like the way combat works is everything happens simultaneously.
Yeah.
In a sense, he's almost like still pulling the gun back towards Burchard. So there's like a time period where you could act before he's threatening Burchard.
Can I so how would it work? Would I like cast the spell with a stealth check as well, or
only if you want to be subtle about it?
Oh,
you can just you can cast a spell either way.
Yeah.
But if you want to be subtle about it, then I'll make you draw a sleight of hand check.
What if my actions kill Burchard? That would be very nice, wouldn't it?
Well, there's also a few other things with your wild magic that could throw a span in the works here as well.
Sure, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, what do you want to do, Unai? Do you want to do this or not? I want to keep this moving.
What's the
I don't want to float it.
What's the most entertaining option?
You do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Stop it.
So, are you doing this subtly? You try to do
Yes.
this subtly. Sleight of hand check.
Oh, sleight of hand. Okay.
Sleight of hand.
Instead of
Passive
stealth.
perception is 13.
Nope. 8.
Nope. 8. So you very clearly cast a spell, or try to. Now roll me a d4. Let's see if your wild magic goes off, or you just lose the spell, because that has been known to happen.
It's a 3. Remind me.
3. You cast the spell as normal.
Okay.
So, Vortex Warp. Now, I think if I remember correctly, a willing creature it just works on, but an unwilling creature makes a Constitution saving throw. Is that
Indeed.
correct?
Indeed.
Now, obviously, Burchard is very willing in this situation.
Mhm.
However, because he's been grappled tightly by Splint, and Splint is not willing, I'm going to argue that Splint has to make the Constitution saving throw. See if he can hold on to Burchard and avoid him being shunted magically away from him. So, what is your spellcasting DC?
Is that the same as?
Oh, spell save DC, sorry.
You go to your spells at the top. It
Yeah.
should say save DC.
1 second.
Top of the spells page.
Top of the spells. Right, yeah.
And modifier spell attack save DC above the search bar.
No. I'm so sorry. Oh yeah. Okay. Save DC. It's a 14.
14, quite high. Okay. Once again, because it's more fun, I'm going to let you make the saving throw for him. So he has a +2 to his Constitution saving throw, so that
Cool.
makes it 12. So you need to roll an 11 or lower. So roll me a d20, please. And on an 11 or lower, you teleport Burchard out of his arms.
7.
7. So you see as he's about to pull the gun back on Burchard. And
Yes.
describe to me what this looks like when you pull off this spell.
Okay. How did we do it for Helga? Well, it failed on her, right? Or...
No, it worked.
No, it worked.
You pulled her through the thing. But it doesn't matter how you do it on Helga. Just right now, how does Unai want to describe this spell?
It was like tendrily, I think, and spirally, like.
So you like cast your hand out, almost like tendrils of magic kind of wrap around Burchard, and you pull him back towards you, and suddenly Burchard is just like almost like a bar of soap practically just slides out of his hands.
Yeah.
Where can you move Burchard to?
Okay, so I was thinking, it says within range, not within line of sight.
Yeah, the range of view.
So I could comfortably move him. 1 second, let me readjust the map. I could comfortably move him to.
You can hide him behind us.
Yeah, well, that's one thing that I was thinking. But then if Jenny, not that Pebble might know. You know, if Jenny was like doing the entire looking,
Creeping around.
I could move Burchard to number 2, right? To the office, or would that be like out of bounds because I'm not seeing that there's a
What's
wall.
the range of the spell?
The range of the spell is 90 feet.
Yeah, so it will be something you have to see. It's typically how spells work. Unless they say otherwise, it's what you see. So it's something you see, but within 90 feet of you. So you've got quite a
door, and you can walk through it.
Yeah, you can put him down by the door. You can put him back in the room, near the room where.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's do that. So I teleport him to number 5, by the door to number 2.
Yeah.
Or even to number 6, I don't know. Well, no, by the door to number 2.
You just say number 2. So the tendrils wrap around and you pull him, and you watch as Burchard like slides like through his arm and then fades. And then suddenly you hear this kind of whoa! As he lands on the floor behind you.
That's a bit violent.
Clearly not comfortable with the fact that he's just been shunted through dimensions, essentially.
Cool.
But Burchard is now on the floor, like puffing and wheezing. You watch as Splint pulls the gun back to an empty space, and it's like, fucking magic.
Yes.
Magic place, motherfucker.
Ollie just like grips her spear.
Yeah.
Oh, glaive, sorry.
And I'm going to say that's into your turn, Pebble.
Yeah. I was gonna tell Burchard something, but
yeah, go on. What do you want to say, Burchard?
Like, just hide somewhere, like very, very, hide somewhere, like whispering.
Yeah.
Those 2 rooms, and I point to number 2 and number 6. Those 2 doors, they might be all right.
I'm gonna add
No,
Burchard
I
to
wouldn't do number 6 because it has a.
Okay, well, number 2 then.
You just tell him the hide. I think it's the important part.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add Burchard to the initiative order. So I'm just gonna roll a d20 for him quickly because he's now involved. Cool. Brassy, it's now your turn.
Cool. So I've got a sort of series of things I want to try and do. First of which is to try and use Dragon Fang to disarm Splint of his gun.
Yeah. Okay. So the way it works is you make an attack roll. No, wait a minute. There's a way of doing this. Hold on, let me go find this. There are particular rules for this. Bear with me. I'm pretty sure you make an attack roll, and it's something he does. Find out. And
Based on his reaction to that magic, I'm gonna guess this dude's a pretty standard melee fighter.
Does seem that way. He's mostly using a gun so far. Yeah, okay. So you make an attack roll, and it's contested by his athletics or acrobatics check. So go for it, and I'll make his check.
13 to hit.
13 hit. He is better at acrobatics. And rolled a 6. So you see this opportunity of him pulling the gun like on an empty space and going like, fucking magic. And suddenly, unexpectedly, a boomerang clips up under his hand.
Yes.
The gun goes spinning off onto the floor nearby. It's like, you see just like, ah!
Take any damage? Can I take off a finger?
You do not take any damage to that. You are specifically aiming for the gun.
Yeah, that's.
And then what I would like to do.
However, you do have a second attack. If you want to argue that the gun, that the thing, you can either flavor it in such that you could hit that, do the damage on the second attack. If that makes sense. Because that counts as one of your attack actions, so you can make 2 attacks per turn. So, if you want to argue that you hit him in the hand and that's your second attack, we can go for that.
No, I don't want to do. I don't want to do my second attack yet.
All right, fair enough. So you have your bonus action or movement.
So then, what I'm going to do is move towards him, but at the same time, I'm going to use Gather Swarm to bring him to me. So I'm like going to meet him in the middle of the room, kind of thing. I'll try to if he doesn't succeed.
It has to happen after an attack.
You have to hit him. So it does not.
Not count as a hit.
Let me have a think about this. These are funny rules. Yes. All right. Yes. Technically,
I hit the gun and I want to bring the gun to me.
I'll let you do that definitely. You can do the gun or him.
I will do that.
Gun. Okay. So the boomerang hits him, clips the gun out of his hand, and then the bees catch the gun and start flying back with it. So how far can they move? How far they can bring it to you? In fact, no, ignore that. I'm going to say because it's a gun and not a person, they bring it all the way to you. You have the gun.
Brask with a gun. That's very funny.
It's just like a boomerang, right?
Magic police.
Yeah. I wonder if these bullets come back.
So that's the action, but you have a bonus action and you have your movement left.
Yeah, in that case, I don't know. That proficient with. I probably wouldn't be able to use a gun very well.
Technically, Brask can use a gun. Weirdly enough, per the rules,
I suppose it's a ranged weapon, right? Yeah.
So in my set, guns are a funny one in D&D because they're not a typical weapon. You're supposed, in some rules, you get you have to work on learning them. But because mine is sort of an industrial setting, I've decided that guns are considered what's called a martial weapon. So anyone proficient in martial weapons can use them, which is technically speaking, Brask, Chad, and Tarly. The three of you could use guns if you wanted to. So technically, you can just use this. You're instinctual enough, like, yeah, fuck it, bam, bam, bam.
Also, if they're in that if the humans use them a lot in bulk, I forget the name of the place. I've probably observed them, cleaning and reloading and all.
Yeah.
Watch, yes. Okay, so in that case,
you're gonna try and shoot him with his gun.
Is favored foes an action, right? So I can't
no,
do
favored
that
foe is when you hit a target.
It's special.
Yeah, when you hit them, you can choose to apply it to them.
Okay, so if I shoot him in the face, then I can use favored foe.
Absolutely, yeah.
Do that then. Why not?
Cool. So roll. This is like your boomerang. Actually, is it like your boomerang? Let me just check something. I can't remember if your boomerang uses strength or dexterity because this is a dexterity weapon, so I need to check. What is your dexterity bonus?
Dexterity. Where am I looking? +2.
+2, so, and your proficiency. So roll a d20 +5.
Okay. I'll just do that as if it were Dragon Fang. Oh.
Yeah, it's fine. So, a 10. So although this is you're like I know how to do this. These weapons are still kind of new to you. And you kind of like
too small for my hands.
You kind of pull the gun, you try and get a finger in there, and you're like, he's not working, and then you accidentally like look at it, and bam, you shoot into the ceiling.
Great.
Everyone's very aware that Brask now has a gun.
And can Brask just try and style it out and just be like, "Oh, let's not make any sudden movements."
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Yes.
Do you want to move or use any bonus actions? Otherwise, we're going to move on.
Well,
do a little dance.
I think I'm going to stay where I am, actually.
Cool.
I'm in pretty good position.
Yes, thank you for protecting.
Chad, it is now your turn.
Very good.
The dynamics have obviously clearly shifted since your last.
Yeah. So
Chad
was aware that Chad hasn't even spoken yet so far since all this stuff started happening. Chad was going to do exactly what Tali did and surrender, and he was going to try and like for the first time in all these things, Chad was going to just take the talking way out of this and just accept defeat. And since seeing that, has just been like, oh right, yeah, no, my friends are like superheroes. This is great. Yeah,
we're fucking
we're
awesome.
This isn't an unwinnable scenario, right? Okay, cool. Chad is
This is fun.
Chad's gonna charge at thing. Now I'm also aware. This is something I've been trying to. The charging is something that I've only just decided that I was I'm gonna do. Mm-hmm. The other thing that I was going to see if I could do, but it's a tough up. I'm gonna do the charge because I wanted to see if I could block that door behind me. But there's no point in that because she'll just go through a different door. Assuming that the crow is going elsewhere. So Chad is going to. It's gonna pop out from behind this box.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
And he's gonna be like, yeah, you want, you want me? Yeah, well, yeah, you can have me if you can handle it. And I'm gonna dash.
Yeah.
Straight at him. And I'm going to do use my charger ability.
Yeah.
So I'm going to, if I move at least 10 feet in a straight line before using this bonus action because dash is the action.
Yes.
I either gain a +5 bonus to the damage roll, or I can push him. So I'm going to do a +5 bonus to my.
Does that Mesa agent get an attack of opportunity?
Yeah, I was thinking.
As you run past. I don't want to be that person, but also.
No, that's a good question.
Because that might stop you
I don't think that's going to stop Chad, I imagine.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go for it. So if I'm there while I'm charging.
Yeah.
Or presumably actually I'll be there. 18.
Yeah, he got 15. You watch as this guy's like not sure what's going on. It's like seeing the situation change dramatically. Sees you rolling past, goes, shit! Tries to hit you with like a truncheon, but you're gone at that point.
Yeah.
Or actually, imagine like almost like hits your shield as he goes by. It's dong.
Yeah, can I have it like I've got a sword in one hand, shield in the other, and the shield just kind of like bonks him in the head as I go past.
Yeah, absolutely. You charge Edvard Splint.
Yes.
As I'm doing that as well, I want to call out particularly to Brask and Pebble.
Yeah.
That the crow is probably gonna try and slip in behind. But yeah, keep an eye on Burchard. The crow's gonna come behind, but I don't know if that's gonna be. Yeah. Let's do an attack.
But how would Chad know though? But anyway, yeah.
Well, because Chad, that's what we established earlier. So
tactical awareness.
Yeah, Chad's got the tactical awareness of he reckons that the corridor that he was in, corridor number 7, he reckons that that's connected to the office. That's where he got that.
Chad doesn't know that. Chad is stating that's what he thinks is happening.
Yes. Well, in the same way that I don't know that, but I think that's where I think that's where that corridor goes.
Anyway, attacks. This is important.
Yes, absolutely. So let's do my longsword. That is a 16 to hit.
16 to hit. You come charging in, sword drawn. You do something like this running swipe up, and as you hit, you hear cling as he has a plate chest, a half plate armor underneath his coat. As you slice across, and he just sort of gets winded slightly and knocked back by your blow. He goes,
No.
Oh, you are Chad Genesius' boy after all then. I was worried you were going to surrender.
Very good.
Now
you've used your movement.
I've used my movement. The extra attack, I can't use my extra attack because that technically that was a bonus attack.
Yes, yeah. So it's a toss-up for the charger feat. Now you can either attack twice or you can do a big attack.
Yeah.
And you've used your movement, your bonus actions. That's your turn.
Yeah. Chad's just gonna retort to the comment about surrendering. He's like, "Why surrender when you've got friends like these?" Hey. No, it doesn't. Okay.
I like it.
Let's go try and
spin
the pistol, drop it.
But he's actually gonna be like, look, just I don't know why you need me, but Father's not gonna get me.
It's now Splint's turn. You watch as he reaches down, pulls out a rapier from his waist.
Oopsies.
And he's like, I'm glad to see that Chad Genesius didn't train a coward. And he just lunges into an attack. You go to parry it, and as he does, he clungs and he's disengaging. He's like, I, however, am not a fighter. And he's darts through the door behind you.
Oh, Chad is... Chad immediately wants to mock him, 1 for having a rapier, and 2 for being a coward. But like, it's not Chad's turn. Chad's got a proper longsword in his hand, and this guy's pull out a little thing. Rapiers are cool, but like Chad doesn't think so.
Rapier's like a proper fencing weapon, which is big in Riverdale. Like you just almost like you and your dad are more old school, whereas most Riverdale are about the finesse. Which is strange to this man because he's a Brattonshirian. He's a Brattonshire man, so have a rapier. Interesting. Anyway, he just parries you away, and he sort of does a twist and just darts through the door behind you, out of sight.
And Chad call out coward after him.
Absolutely. Christina, it's your turn.
Oh, finally.
Bottom of the initiative.
I know. Yeah. But I'm gonna follow Splint, I think.
Okay.
Because I'm like, what should we do now, boss?
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna say that, but that's like my intention.
Yeah, so you're not on the roll 20, that's fine. So I'll move you there. Let me see how close you get. Yes, you can blast through the same doors as he can. You're just behind him. So you're shouting out, what are we doing, boss?
Great.
And I will say, just like, actually, no, roll me a deception check. We'll get one in there. I mean, you'll probably be fine because you're very good at this.
Well, I got a natural 20 plus 7. So.
Excellent. He doesn't even turn to look back at you. He just makes the assumption that you're a mess agent and just goes, "We need to get to the train. Esper should be igniting the engine. We're going to make a getaway."
Oh. Can I ask? Want to then get to that engine, stop it from leaving?
Okay.
I'm not sure what I should.
You are on the other side of the whole base to the front of the train. Like, it would take a long. You could do a 180 and turn back and start running towards the train. Because the route that Splint has taken is not the most direct route to the engine of the train. He's taken the side exit to get away from Chad.
Right.
If you want to get to the engine, you will have to basically do a 180 and use your action to sprint. But you basically would end up where you started.
Yeah. I guess I'll keep following it.
Yeah. Okay. So technically you're right behind him. But we can argue that you can hold an action to sprint and basically kind of keep pace with him if you want. So you'll keep moving with him for now.
Am I able to sneak a cantrip?
Or
do I have to just keep running?
No, you can do it instead. So you can do that instead of running after him. What cantrip do you want to do?
I'd like to do True Strike.
Yeah.
Which, for the next week, you don't have to do any saving throws or anything. I can just sort of some finger guns and be like, what are his defenses?
Well, True Strike, I think, gives you advantage in your next attacks against him.
But do I get any other information from that?
I guess flavor-wise, you can see as he's got his back turned to you, you caught when Chad hit him. He wears half plate armor, which essentially is armored at the front, but not the back. So you know that right now, with his back turned away from you, and the fact that he's completely unexpecting of you, that if you were to attack him, you would get advantage.
Oh.
So it's not like he has a weak spot as such, so much as that you have the drop on him right now. Yeah. That would give you the advantage as per the spell. So that's your action. That's fine. Any bonus actions you want to do?
Let's see. I've never used my bonus actions. Let's see what I've got. Never mind. I have Hex, but I've not got a slot. So.
Okay. So you start chasing after him. That's the end of the round, so we come back to the top, and we'll take our break here. But just before we do that, you start to hear as the train has been ignited, awoken. Presumably by Jenny somewhere else. But yeah, we'll take our break here, and we'll pick up now after we come back with a train that is ready to roll. A situation where Splint is now on the run and has lost all his power in the situation, and the dynamic shifting dramatically, which is very exciting.
Very nice.
Well done, guys.
Cool.
I was really not expecting that to go as well as it seemingly
I
has.
know,
Yeah.
we're actually
No,
like
that-
competent.
Yeah.
I have a gun.
We
Hey.
shall,
You have a gun, yeah, you have a gun.
Who saw that coming?
we shall
Yeah.
see everyone in 10 minutes or 15 minutes.
Let's say 10, because I think this might. I want to get back to this pretty quick.
Cool.
So let's say half past.
See
22, sorry.
22. Good. Alright.
Cool. See you in a bit.
Bye.
In a bit.
It is.
Oh shit. 1 second. Bye.
And we're back. And we'll pick up exactly where we left off. So you guys all hear this, and it's like a bellowing echo of the train engine going as it echoes through this enclosed tunnel. And you might have seen it on the map, but I've made a little change to the map slightly because the train starts to move.
Oh boy.
Ooh,
Watch as
it's
it all
moving.
shifts slightly as it goes slowly starts to move down the platform. Yeah. So, Tali, it's your turn.
So Tali is going to move a bit because she's gonna move 5, 10. I guess like 50.
Oh, we have a friend there. Missa.
Yeah, he's tied up though. So he's
Yeah, he's tied. You can see him just like tied up in the neck, like.
Come on.
Gonna miss his train!
Yeah, right?
No ticket.
So I think that. So I see the train obviously starting to move.
Yep.
And I think Splint's gonna come out of the door, sort of over to the right there.
Mm-hmm.
Can't go there. Can Tali use the water that's left in her water skin to make the floor slippery in front of the door? So, because he's gonna be rushing. So if he falls prone.
Do you have the movement to get to there?
So how far can I? If I'm gonna how far can I? I don't want to be at the door because obviously that's where he's gonna come out. So how far can I sort of throw it, swoosh it?
So I think you can throw it probably 30 feet. The problem with
'Cause,
throwing it though, you're not gonna make a puddle necessarily.
Yeah,
You make
it's
more like a
gonna be
splash. If you want to make it like a proper puddle, you'll need to be there to pour it on the floor. And this isn't like oil. I know it'll make it a little bit slippery, but this isn't like a.
Yeah, but it's a whole water skin's worth.
No, I understand. It'll do something.
15, 20. I can't get there.
So you can attempt to throw it from there if you want.
But it will just throw the water skin. It's not gonna.
You could obviously uncork it and throw it, but it will basically do a trail from where you are to the door.
Okay, I guess not then.
Oh. I like that one.
It's a good plan, but unfortunately you're not sure you got the time to really set it up in the way that would be effective.
Do I have anything else? I think so. Uh, 20. I guess I just sort of go here.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's nice.
25. I can't do anything, so I just go and stand.
That's fair.
I guess maybe. I can still see Splint. I can still see into the
Yeah.
two. And I can also see the train.
As you get there, your body is racked with pain. As the crow, Jenny Adler, or Esper, is standing on top of the passenger carriage, and you watch as just bolt of lightning out of her hand as she hits you with a natural 20.
Okay,
Oh boy.
what's it gonna be? I'm gonna die.
That's a shit roll. 5 points of damage!
Oh,
What a
only?
crit!
That's
What a
very
crit.
effective.
It's lightning damage, but I rolled on the dice a 1 and a 2. So
Amazing.
Great. Fantastic.
I see. But I would have seen her though, right? Because my dark vision is 300 feet. I would have seen her way before I got here. No?
she was
It's fine if no. Oh, okay. I
Sorry.
see.
Where is she?
Okay.
She's not there.
She has now revealed herself.
Where is she?
She's literally. I'm not going to put it on the map because it's difficult with things are moving.
But
But
how
she's
can
standing. Basically, where your the fast like glass was, she's standing on top of that carriage, literally on the roof of it.
Alright.
There's no way here I could go that would be out of Hellas.
No.
Okay. Guess I'll just stand here then.
Okay. Coming up next is. Okay, yeah. After your turn, on initiative count 10, the train moves again.
Oh!
You watch as it goes.
Oh,
rolls slightly further down the platform.
That's a big move.
Pebble, it's your turn.
Woo! Okay, I'm gonna. My main worry is to take care of Burchard. Because Burchard is bleeding out, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So I'm
Wait,
just
what?
gonna-
He's bleeding
No,
out?
no, sorry, he's not bleeding out.
Oh.
He's fine.
No.
Ish.
He's laying on the floor,
He's just-
grumbling. You look back to him, and he's like, "Don't worry about me. Go get him. Get him."
He spat blood out of his. He spat blood out of his mouth, though.
Yeah, he's very wounded. Like, you can see he's got blood on him. Like he clearly was wounded, and has been beaten. Like he's been clearly tortured and beaten, but he's not bleeding out.
Okay.
And all of the bad guys are the other.
Yeah.
The other way.
Yeah. So, what? One second. Strategy.
Gotta keep us moving. We don't want to wait. Train's going. What are you gonna do?
Right, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go to room. I think the easiest way for me to get. Oh well, it's fine. I'm just gonna go where Tali is going.
Okay.
How many? Oh, how much can I
Six
move?
squares. 6.
Only 6.
30 feet. 30 feet. or 6
Unless you
squares.
dash.
Unless you dash, in which case you double it. But you
Tali
can
would
act.
probably also shout that the crow's on top of the
Yeah.
train to warn
Yeah.
others. So they don't just run in.
So
Is it a-
that's
yeah.
okay. Can I? Yeah, I'm gonna dash because the train is moving anyway. So That's how much? 6.
Another 6.
So 12. You move 12 squares. Or 60 feet.
Okay. Cool. So that's 20, and that's. I just wanna.
Get to Tali?
Yeah, get to Tali.
Yep, you can get to Tali then. Just
Around
put
there,
yourself next to
yeah.
Tali. Easy enough. So you run there. Cool. Next, it's Burchard's turn, who is just laying on the floor. He's fine. He pulls himself into a room.
Yeah, can he go in room 2? Because then I can keep an eye on him.
Yes, he would, yeah. That's fine. He'll sort of just crawl his way into room 2.
Yeah, but room
Like,
2 has so many windows though. That's the thing.
Yeah, but he's lying on the floor.
Brusk, it's your turn.
Are we just not caring about this one messer agent left in the room?
He's not caring about us, so.
That's a good point. He would have darted off after Christina and Thingy. I'd forgotten about him. So he would be there actually, as he's running to follow Christina.
There were also 2 on the train we didn't kill, but I don't seem to be there anymore. So and that's
Yes,
okay.
Well, no, they are still there, and you can see that they are, as the train is moving and seeing the lightning bolt hit you, Tali, and Pebble turn up. You see they are turning and starting to draw
Very
rifles.
Oh,
Nah, damn it.
Again, I can't have them on the map, and the map.
fine. Yeah.
Okie dokie. Oh god, I've broken my map. I'm thinking Brask is probably going to also go after Splint, I think.
Okay.
So how far can we go? 30.
30 feet in, 30 feet, or you can use your action to go double that.
Well, let's see what kind of view I can get from here. Not all that much.
Actually, one thing I should have done, I should have taken the door off that because he blasted through it, so you would see that.
Neat.
Okay, mate.
If that changes anything for you? Not really. You see
it
the
changes
Christina
for-
Messeragent.
Changes for him.
Yeah, all it changes is I thought the door was further up, and it was. So what I might do is I might just alter my initial 30 to actually make sense for where the door is.
That's fair.
What? If I do it correctly, come on. There we go. That's where we'll go to.
Neat.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on, roll 20.
Hey,
There
success.
we go, baby. Now I'm gonna shoot Edward Splint
Very good.
Yeah,
his
go for
head.
it. With the gun?
Yeah.
with his own gun
Yes.
and with a
Excellent.
certain hero token, just to make sure it bloomin' hits him.
So yeah, the first time you use this, you'll get your sight in. This time you're like, I know how to do this. Pull it up and just BAM!
I want to do it like Wanted style, so it just curves around Christina.
Yeah.
A flick of her hair.
Yeah, the great thing about Brask is, because Brask doesn't really understand how guns work, you're allowed to defy the laws of physics.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's.
So I want to do this! BAM! And just...
I don't know the rules, and therefore they don't apply.
Exactly!
That's how I've
Exactly!
been playing this entire game, guys.
It's funny, how many times in games I've run that's applied to Draken has been funny. Who don't understand how things work, so they just get away with things.
Never tell me the rules, damn it.
Anyway, so natural 20 automatically hits, so you need to roll me some damage. Let me just tell you what that will be for you.
Damage.
You need to roll me. So it's a crit, so twice the dice. So you are rolling me 4d6
4d6, 1,
plus
2,
your
3, 4.
dex modifier.
My dex modifier is +2. Okay, so I roll this.
And are you making this your favorite enemy?
Ooh.
Yes.
In which case you can then roll 2d4 as well.
Okay, so that okay.
So
11
4d6.
plus 2d4.
Yeah.
What's that entail?
2d4.
Your favorite enemy?
Favorite enemies, when he hits an enemy, he can choose to make basically like target it, which means when he hits, he does an extra d4 of damage. But because he's crit, all damage dice are doubled.
17 points of damage.
17 points of damage.
Jesus.
Excellent.
You can also do the
Amazing.
swarm, which is a d6, which would be 2d6.
Well, I was
Extra,
going
right?
to do that
Oh.
not to hurt him. I was going to do that to yank him back towards me.
That's
Excellent.
Stop him getting to the train.
So you basically just go. What you do is you kind of aim for a leg as it curves round by like Christina's shoulder up here, and then goes down because why not? And just gets him with the leg, and you see he stumbles. And as he starts to kind of limp forward, a swarm of bees swarm him and just grab him and pull him back. And he's like, "No, this is ridiculous. None of this makes sense."
Is 15 foot enough to bring him to me?
15 foot will get him not that far, but basically pulls him past Christina. He's like, "Agent, help me!" He just yanks back.
Okay,
So
cool.
He's now there.
That's one. I've still got another attack, right?
You
Or
do
am I-
still have another attack. You can shoot it again if you want.
Brash, don't
Only
kill
on
him! He has information!
So this time, I'm not gonna shoot him.
Yeah.
Actually, yes, I am. What am I saying? I'm gonna shoot his other leg. Of course
My
I
goodness.
am.
So this time, yes.
Yes,
So yeah, same as your boomerang. Roll to hit.
Oh mate, natural 1 that time.
Natural
I used
1.
up all my skill.
Yeah. Well, actually, what happens is again, Frost, you don't fully understand how guns work. You go like, "Ah!" and you got to shoot again, and it's out of ammo. Just click. You're like, "Ah."
Throw the gun at him.
But yes, so we're going to say for the rest of this fight, the gun is now out of ammo. But you can obviously try and get more. That'd be your turn, however, unless you want to move. Oh, you got bonus action.
I've
No,
already moved. Yeah.
You did move. It's for your turn.
Yeah, I
Chad.
moved to get him in my sights.
It's your turn, Chad.
It is my turn. All right. I thought now before you opened up that door, I thought Splint had gone a lot further in a different direction. So the fact that he is literally right there is fantastic.
Yes.
Chad's gonna start by just like continue his taunt from earlier of like, he's a coward, and he's like, I'm right here. I thought you wanted me. Come on, what? Don't run away. Come on. And gonna do my. I'm not even gonna do the charge actually, because I don't even need to. I don't need to. So I presumably this Messer agent isn't gonna get attack of opportunity on me because I'm not leaving his.
Nope.
Unless I moved to there, at which point he would.
Yeah, we don't need to do that. You can go one further back to the left, and you still attack him just fine.
Cool.
So.
And just be like, I'm right here, you idiot. God, come on, clearly, come on. And
I like the idea that the bees, as they pulled him out, they spun him back round to face you for no other reason.
Yeah,
just,
and it's just me to go.
You can see on his face he's trying to come up with some sort of witty retort back to you, but he's blanking because of being shot by a lizard man and the bees pulling him back. He's trying to find the words. So
I'm gonna go for a. He's standing up, so isn't he?
Yes, he's still standing.
Cool. We seem to be going for his legs, so I'm gonna go for a longsword strike.
Is he not on his front because he got pulled back? Fine. I thought Splint was on his front because he got pulled backwards. But
he's not prone or anything like that. So yeah, he's upright. We'll go for his legs. Okay, no worries. Roll a hit.
So I'm gonna roll more than a 16, from what I understand, because last time it was a 16.
He has an armor class of 17.
23 to hit.
23 will definitely hit.
Very good.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll my damage. I may well add. That's an 8 damage. Do I need to? Well, obviously, I don't need is a strong word, but should I add Psionic Strike to that as well?
So, despite this guy being a bit overwhelmed in the fight, and despite him claiming not to be a fighter, he does look very sturdy. He looks barely injured by any of these hits so far. He's still got a lot of fight left in him.
Okay, so I will add a D8 to that as well, please. So that's plus 3 damage there.
Yeah. Okay.
In between that, before I now go for my second attack, I want to have a thing. Can I? No, it's not going to be. Intimidation isn't really going to do anything at this point. But I was be like, I recognise you. What was your name? So stab.
Yeah.
Recognise you. What was your name? Stab again. Well, attempt to stab. So let's go for another one. Oh yeah, no, don't hit. I don't hit that.
You go to try to hit again. This time you just clank off the half plate he's wearing.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else in your turn, Chad?
Well, I've got bonus actions and stuff, haven't I?
You do have bonus actions.
Get that.
There's not so much a fighter can do with bonus. You got your second wind, I think.
That's
not even a bonus action, actually.
I could do a
Shield
shield master shove.
You could tend to knock him prone or
yeah.
Because obviously you've seen him before. He last time he ran away. If you knock him prone, you'll reduce his movement essentially. So
yeah, I'll go for that.
Okay.
So what is that as strength for that?
You make an athletics check contested by his athletics or acrobatics.
Athletics. Oh, good luck to him. Oh dear. No, yes, good. 13. The 7 looked like a 1. The 7 looked like a 1.
I mean, 13 isn't a high roll either, but however, he got a 12. So what you do is you kind of threaten to hit him with your sword, and he sort of positions himself in such a way that you hit the armor. But what he doesn't expect is you to basically clip his leg with your shield. You flip him up on his bad leg, and it just hits the floor.
Good.
Can I turn around to the Messer agent behind me and just go?
Yeah.
Like that.
Intimidation.
Roll me an intimidation check.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Good. That 9.
9. Okay.
I do have plus 6 to my intimidation, so that was
very
quite
good
low for them.
It's now Splint's turn.
This is when all of our good work is undone immediately.
Mm-hmm.
What can he do?
Steal the gun, reload it, and shoot Brask in the face.
He hits the floor and lands his back. He's like almost winches, like. Yeah, you really are Traitorous, son. And he looks up at you and like, fine, I surrender. He just holds his hands up. That's his turn.
Oh.
Chance can be like, you're right, that is disappointing, isn't it?
Nice.
That's his turn. Christina, it's your turn.
Ooh, I don't know what to do.
You can now see he's obviously not bound or anything. He's laying on the floor.
The other messer is still there.
The other messer is still there, and obviously you are still disguised as a messer agent.
Well, I kind of want to stop the train, so.
Okay.
I'm not on Roll20. I'm not on the train, am I?
No, you're quite
sure,
far away from the train. You're still you're in a
no.
hallway. You can't even see the train where you are yet. You can just hear it on the platform
What has he
moving.
got to you?
Did I use my action to
Like dash to the train.
dash it? Yeah. Would I?
You'd
have
get
it dash?
closer to the train. So let's have a look where you'd get to. You'd get to.
You probably get within about 15 feet of it.
Yeah, you'd be 15 feet
You
away.
get to
from
about where
we
about
are.
where Thalia is,
Yeah,
or as you say,
Equivalent,
rather
yeah.
that other way. Yeah.
the equivalent. So you're
I
basically
might as
15
well.
15 foot away from one of the train platforms, though. You're not. The train engine itself is still quite far away from you, but you could from here, not right now, but your next turn, you could attempt to get on the train potentially, or Ty's been talking about. Well, I'm not talking about it, but Ty's thinking about trying to disconnect parts of the train. But that is your action to get that far. So, and I don't think you have any bonus actions. You're out of spell slots, so that'll be your turn then. It is the guard's turn. The ones on the train platform will contain ship shots. There were 3 of them on the platform, and they all come forward, so they're going to try and shoot Pebble, Tali, and Christina.
Wait, on the platform?
Respect.
They're behind some cargo crates on the train platform. They were unloading stuff, and we deliberately said let's kill them.
Cannot represent them any longer because the train is moving.
Yeah, correct.
So, Pebble does a natural 20 will hit you. That's fine. We'll
Yes.
Target does 9 hit you,
No.
and Christina at 5 doesn't hit you. So just Pebble.
Yeah,
you take
sure.
some damage.
How much?
You take.
One.
You take 7 points of damage as you are shot by one of the agents on the train.
Damn it. Okay.
And that one agent that is still here.
What, the bound one?
No, not that one. The one who's with Chad and stuff like that.
Oh, 1 second. I'm gonna reframe.
He's going to attempt to grapple you, Chad.
Ooh.
He's going to jump for you. Oh no, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
it
going
was
to intimidate you. And you just hear him go like, "I got him, sir. You ran away!" And he tries to jump on you. So you can make an acrobatics or athletics check to try and resist this.
Cool. Acrobatics or athletics?
Your choice, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Athletics.
Assume athletics.
Depending on the flair that you want to do.
23.
Yeah, that beats a 7. You watch this go I'll do it the correct accent. Like, sorry, I got him. You get away. He tries to jump, and you just sort of whack him with a shield, and he just goes. I'm gonna say he gets. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna say he gets knocked unconscious just from that. Just boom, and it just hits the floor. Just, oh no! It just hits the floor.
My one weakness, gravity.
Yeah.
My face, my beautiful face.
Not that bad.
My face is weak to shields. You hear a deep sigh from Splint as this is happening. It's like,
Sure. Damn
cool.
Beautiful.
Cool. Top of the round, the train moves a bit more. On initiative count 20, the train moves a bit more.
Yes.
Which is it jumps again. You can see it's picking up speed now.
Yeah. It looks
So
rather trainy.
Yeah, okay.
Did the train's initiative count change?
It has 2 initiative count. It moves on 20 and 10.
Oh.
Because it is picking up speed.
I understand. That's kind of cool.
It's now Jenny's turn if she still can do anything.
Oh, but Jenny's
He's far
like
away.
all the way there.
You watch as the train is moving, she is running down the train
Of
to kind of
course.
keep in line with you guys. She jumps off the top of the passenger carriage onto the sort of cargo platform. And absolutely makes her acrobatic. You watch what she does, like the proper like combat roll, hits the platform, and then goes to a lightning strike towards you, Pebble.
But me again?
You're the closest to her
Fair.
now. And she's trying to double down on the hits. This time, because it's not a held action, she gets to do all of her attacks.
Sure.
Although the first one's only a 9 to hit, which I don't
Nope,
think even hits
it
Pebble.
It doesn't.
Surprisingly. The second one is an 8 to hit. So despite this kind of like, she goes to shoot, but you can see that there is a kind of this like, there's a bump on the track, and it just goes over your head. And, like, if it wasn't for that bump, this would have hit you square in the face. And then comes for a second one, and the same thing happens again. You can see on her face, which obviously you can now clearly see her face, Jenny Adler. She looked very frustrated by that.
I would look for.
Charlie, it's your turn. So on the platform, like directly in front of you, is Jenny and the 3 Messer agents.
Where are they? Because obviously the train's moving. Like
They're kind of scattered along it.
Okay.
I could try and put them on the map if you really need it, but I'd rather not.
And how long is this train? Because there's obviously this carrot passing. Like, this
Roll me a
part of
perception
it.
check.
Yes, I can do one of those. Hold on a second. 18.
Let me just count. Looking down the tunnel, there are 10 of these sort of cargo platforms.
Okay, no, we're gonna unclip this train. Let's do that. Fuck that. Harley is going to move.
Yep.
5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. That's where the clip things are, right?
Yes, it is. So you see these big, heavy, like magnetic clips are holding it together.
Magnetic?
Mhm.
What do you mean? Okay, fine. Well, that's
Nice.
They're magnetic, so I'm guessing you can't just pull them apart.
You could try.
Can I like if you have magnets, you put something in between the magnets?
Yeah,
Like-
you could try and like pry out part of your glaive if you wanted.
Yeah.
The tricky thing is, this is not although obviously the way D&D works, it's currently stationary. This is a moving thing. So you'd have to kind of line up and try and slice it.
That's kind of but what? Yeah, that's sort
Yeah,
of
that's fine.
what I was trying. But I also don't want to break my glaive. Is my glaive a risk of breaking?
Also,
you're not sure.
is your blade metallic?
Yes.
But that's also it. If it's just gonna stick.
Ching!
Right?
Ah!
Yeah. Wait, magnetic? How do you pull them apart? Like, there must.
I mean, you
there
can
must be
just
a
pull magnets
mechanism.
apart, but they're quite strong magnets.
Yeah,
so
for
they're
a train, like, imagine.
I don't know how trains work. I'm assuming it's magnetic. I'm saying it's magnetic in this world.
Velcro.
This is Velcro.
Yes.
Very advanced
This is a
technology.
slightly steampunky world, so also it's like magnetic.
Just
I have a
check,
blanket.
check for a
blanket.
lever.
Could I don't know, if you put something in between 2 magnets, does that let
But the thing is, you have to
magnetic?
pry
They're
them
still
apart
very
to
strong.
do it. There isn't a gap. They are connected.
Also, they would like, yeah, it would be like still super strong anyway.
Roll me a perception check.
Yes. Okay, let's do that.
Yeah, there has to be like a lever. or
16.
something.
16. So what you see, looking quickly at it, where you see these 2 magnetic bolts, you can see there are a series of like copper wires that run, and it clearly is running to like a small like junction box at the center. This is like an electromagnet that is powered by something. So you think if you could potentially destroy that electromagnet, it probably would disconnect.
Can I just cut the wires? With a dagger?
They are literally built into the metal, so it's not like a copper wire, like copper lines running through it.
Okay.
Your best bet is to try and essentially shoot the junction box into the center of the train.
Shoot it. I can't. I don't have. I don't have range. Can I?
The other alternative is
on
you.
it?
Yeah, you can try that. The other
Because if I
alternative
use
is
a
you could try and,
dagger, then
you
it'll
could
be
try and get on the train platform, on the carriage itself, and then then you wouldn't be. You could get to the middle.
Oh, I see.
Because you can jump. You can try and jump onto a moving train.
Would it be hard to get off the train? Like, I don't want to get.
Getting off would be easier than getting on.
Nice.
Okay.
Getting on, you got to time it in between the boxes and stuff.
Yeah.
Jump to the one behind. That way, when it stops, you
Well,
stop
can
over.
I use a cantrip on the junction box?
Yeah, you can try that.
Because I wouldn't need to line up then, because it's a ranged.
Yeah.
It's a ranged attack. So.
What cantrip are we talking about?
Sacred Flame.
That's fine. So it is an object. It cannot make a dex saving throw, so it fails. Roll damage.
This is so dumb.
I love it.
Okay. 13 points of damage.
13 points of damage.
Yes.
Okay. You got this bolt of like radiant energy sort of
Yeah,
hits,
calm down.
hits the thing. You see a massive like spark of electricity that cracks something,
Yes.
and there is a crack in it, but
Oh.
it's still holding tight.
Oh,
just
but there's
about.
wires inside.
You can see the sparks of electricity and things are going wrong. Like, you think if you could do that one more time, it would fall apart.
She will, as a free action, just say to, I guess, Pebble and Christina, help Tali disconnect the train, so then she can't. There's a bunch of carriages, so they'll leave. If, they'll get taken away.
With what? We don't even know. Anyway, that's
Magic.
No. I mean, what are they getting away with? Is it people
I mean,
inside
but
the
at least-
the crow is jumping down carriages. We have 10
Oh,
more
yeah,
carriages
I
to
get
come,
it.
so she'll just continue to jump down the carriages.
I get
So I want to stop that.
Also, are aware that the point of these trains are to send supplies and equipment to Fort Erlington. So if you
true,
cut
yeah.
off supplies,
That.
that might help
And
you.
also, Splint
Oh.
can't then jump on it. Just there's lots of reasons why.
Yeah, yeah.
Help Tali's help Tali. Just use magic on this.
Anyway, on initiative, at the end of your turn, Tali, initiative
I might
counter the
move
train
back.
moves. Yeah, where do you want to
Okay.
move?
Just I have like 15 feet, I think. So just oh no, did I use? Oh, I don't know. It's fine. I'll just stay.
The train moves a little bit more.
That's not a little bit.
It is
like a
doubling
whole-
each time the movement it makes.
This is like a whole carriage thingy that's moved. Jesus.
Yeah, practically. It is doubling each time.
Wow.
It's really picking up speed.
So okay, so
Um,
now Tali is out of range of the damage that she's created.
Pebble, it's your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna.
So the junction that Tali is attacking is now to your left.
Yeah, I see. But I have to be quick. Obviously, if I dash, I don't get to attack it.
Nope.
But do you have like a 30-foot or
Yeah, I
a
have,
60-foot
like, a range.
range spell, like a cantrip or a?
Do I? I don't know. Does it put me in any kind of disadvantage to try to attack the junction box from outside from the platform, the stationary, the station platform,
No.
as opposed to from the train itself?
No, it's the same thing.
Cool. So I move
It's
here.
basically, if you want to do a melee attack, you need to be on the platform, the
Right,
actual
yeah.
train itself.
That makes sense.
But Tali wasn't on the carriage, so
Yeah.
so you're there, okay? And what are you doing?
Chaos ball on the thingy.
Okay, so roll me a d4. Let's see if your wild magic goes
Oh,
off.
I forgot about that. It's a 2. What did a 2 do?
2, you're good. Spell happens as
Really?
normal. Spell
Um,
happens as normal.
level
Um,
level 1 chaos ball. Oh, 1 second. What does level 2
So,
do?
more damage.
This might be the time. Yeah.
So I'll give you. I wouldn't worry about going higher level because I'll say quite simply,
It's
as long as you hit it, it'll break.
Cool.
The thing that's important here is A, you got to hit first of all because it has an armor class. So roll to hit.
Yeah. I cast it. I cast it. Right. Hit DC, right? So it's ooh, 24.
24 is fine because you need a 19 because this is a very solid object.
Wow.
So that's fine.
For a train.
Yeah.
And now I roll 2d8, right?
Yes, and this is the important part because it's an inanimate object. It is immune to poison and psychic damage.
Cool. So I rolled.
So you don't want to hit, and probably realistically a lightning damage as well. So you don't want to get poison, psychic, or lightning damage. Anything else
The
will
lightning
work.
should short the circuit if it gets over too much voltage for the.
maybe.
So I rolled a 6 and a 3.
So what
which
type of
is
damage do you get?
no wait. Yeah. Which is either fire or poison. So I'm choosing fire.
Fire. So you fire this firebolt into it, and it hits, and there's a moment when nothing happens.
So
then suddenly you see this eruption of huge gout of fire and smoke just burst from the thing. The whole train just goes as you actually watch as the train carriage that you've disconnected, the one behind you, gets derailed. It actually comes off the tracks and starts going.
Wait, which one? The one behind or one in front?
The one that you're standing in front of, Tali.
Oh.
Actually gets knocked off the tracks onto the other side and starts grinding it has no brakes, but it is now grinding against the track and the gravel. The train in front, you watch as it suddenly lurches forward because it's lost a bunch of weight and had an explosion on it. You see as all the message agents on the platform just suddenly get knocked to the ground from this explosion. Jenny, however, stays standing. And you watch as the train starts to move quicker now because it's lost all the weight.
So,
and as I have no way of representing what you've just done on the map, I'm not going to move the train anymore. But effectively, the front half of the train, the bit is now disappearing up the tunnel.
With Jenny, right? Because she's
with Jenny and the agents on it. They are now all gone.
Whatever.
Cool. So that's 9 crates. That 9
platforms of a freight train, essentially are, and they kind of the first one, and they start to tip, and you watch as all the boxes slide off into the gravel. But with that, effectively we're out of initiative because there are, apart from your unconscious guy on the platform, there are no active messer agents. Splint has surrendered and seems to be holding to that. And Jennifer Adler is now disappearing down the train tunnel.
Wait. Is there
no... like, yes, Pebble, good.
Yeah,
that was great.
Are there no messer agents in any of the other freight carriages?
No.
Oh.
There was not. They were actively loading this carriage.
That's great.
So yeah. I'm gonna change the music somewhat.
First
But
thing Carly wants to do is check on Burchard.
Yep. So let's go do that. So you make your way over to Burchard. We'll lose the map at this point. We'll just go to a sort of narrative
Theater
thing.
of mind.
Yeah. The music would like to stop for me, please. Come on, work with me.
I can force it to... 1 second.
I don't need to force anything because I need to get Roll 20 working. There we go. So you go and find Burchard. Burchard has sort of pulled himself into this this office. You get a proper look at him now.
Wait, are you okay?
Yeah, well, as you approach him, you can see that there is his shirt is disheveled. You see there are blood stains across his shirt. There is very clearly a hole in his shirt where he has taken at some point a bullet wound through the chest. Basically, he seems to have almost just missed his heart. But you can see beneath the actual beneath the bullet hole in his clothing, the wound itself has been patched up, kind of weirdly, kind of badly, quickly. But you can see blood stains all around his clothes. He obviously doesn't have his hat, which Helga had, and in this moment, Tali, since you've known Burchard, he has been this kind of confident, bastion of the old guard almost. In this moment, Burchard is a frail old man. You see, without the hat on, you see the receding hairline. There is a lot more grey in his hair than you'd ever seen before. Always covered by that. He's only been a day since he was kidnapped, but you see he looks gaunt in the face. He's clearly lost a lot of blood throughout all this ordeal, and he just sort of weakly holds a hand up to you, I'm good, darling. I think I'll be all right now.
Does he look like he needs medical attention?
Roll me a medicine check.
Does he need some healing? 19 plus 3.
19 plus 3, okay. Yes, in 2 senses. Yes, in a hit point sense, he has been beaten and tortured by Splint, or someone at least. But also, he's been through an ordeal that someone of his very, very apparent now age, he will need time to rest and recover. He's not going to be back up and running the pub tomorrow. Let's put it that way.
But yeah.
But he's not at risk of dying from anything. He is again, it looks weird. Like he clearly took probably quite a fatal wound that has been patched up. And although it's not a clean patch, it is an effective patch up.
Okay. But he still needs a bit of healing.
Well, you rolled a 19, yeah?
22 altogether.
22, okay.
Altogether, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna message someone quick.
Okay. I just want to know if I should heal him.
You can. Yes. He's low in hit points, mechanically speaking.
Okay.
But you don't have to roll your dice for it. Like, we'll say you give him some healing.
Oh, it does depend on what I'm. Okay.
Just mark something off, whatever you're using for it.
3d4 healing.
Yeah.
She's gonna hug him, by the way, because she's using the healing hands feature, so she's gonna hug him, and she hugs him like her hands will sort of glow with like silvery light, and the warmth kind of go into him and hopefully help. You're gonna message me something, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Cool. So your pen patching up him, and I'll let you read that message. What's everyone else doing?
That's going to be calling Brask over.
Yep. So Brask and Chad, you have Splint. Again, he's not bound or anything. He's just he does kind of like he gets up to a degree. Probably more sits up. Like you can tell he's very clearly trying to make it clear he's not planning on like running away or escaping. He's just like.
Brask is going to search him.
Okay, you search him. You find his rapier. You see the armor he's wearing underneath that coat. You would find a set of keys, which presumably opened some door in this place, which is irrelevant right now. He'll have some money on him, which I'll figure out in 2 seconds. You'll find like a pouch of coins, but I don't know if Brask cares about that particularly. But other than that, nothing much else. You both would be aware that his office, which is full of all sorts of alchemical doodads and nonsense, is around the corner, where you'd imagine more things are. But while you're searching, I was like, I will remind you that I am a diplomat and a politician. If any harm would come to me, I would alert some people. But I also can be very valuable to you. And a lot about the messes I could tell you.
Chad's gonna lean in very, very close to him, and he's gonna say, first things first, neither of us care if any harm comes to you. And second thing second, yes, you do have a lot of information for us, don't you?
I do.
And third, I don't know what a politician is.
See?
Great.
He doesn't know. And he doesn't care.
Be that as it may, but if a high-ranking member of the Brattonshire courts was to be murdered, well, that wouldn't look very good for anyone now, would it?
Be that as it also may.
Fantastic.
Equally, if it turned out that a high-ranking member of the Brattonshire politia, or whatever the phrase is, was revealed to be into whatever the hell it is that you're into, equally not great. So, how about we don't use that particular bargaining chip? Yeah.
I won't use it if I don't have to.
Good.
I'm very intent on keeping my innards, inside me, and not dying in a ditch somewhere, or whatever it is you plan to do with Nura.
What planning to do with Nora?
Well, I don't assume you're going to leave her down in the basement of your pub, are you?
Oh, okay. Well, you know she's not conscious.
You put a knife through her head.
Yeah, yes. So can I roll an intimidation check again on here? I imagine it's going to be very, very difficult. He doesn't seem like a particularly intimidatable guy.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no, you cannot roll intimidation. This guy, although... You roll an insight check, however. I'll let you do that.
Okay, yeah. Because Chad means it. He does not care. And he knows that Splint, or whatever this guy is called, because Chad doesn't know his name yet.
Yeah.
He knows that he's already killed someone that he's intimidated. He's tortured, so interrogated. I just rolled intimidation. That's not what he meant. Insight. It's a good solid 6.
6. Okay. You know this guy knows that you can kill someone. Like, you've seen him. He knows that you can kill someone interrogating, and it's kind of frustrating you that this guy is like, you should be more scared of me. Why aren't you more scared of me?
Yeah.
But yeah, this guy, he is frustratingly calm in this situation.
Okay.
I will. Here's a weird one. Brass, because you're getting a closer look at the guy. Roll me a nature check.
Ooh. I got a 15.
15. That eye, in his left eye, very clearly to you, that is a fish eye. He has the eye of a fish in his eye socket.
Convenient. I don't know what for, but...
Be a very big fish.
I'm just imagining...
As in, it is the same, style as a fish eye. But this kind of, silvery, slimy grey, iris, and then a pupil.
Brian, are you thinking the same thing that I was? So he's got one eye of normal field of view, and then one
fish eye
is fish eye.
Yeah.
Just Brass giant teeth right in his face.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. You don't know what it does to his field of vision, but yes, he does have it's clearly a fish's eye, or very much looks like a fish's eye, in his head.
Chad is gonna just straight up ask, but okay, what do you and or my father want with me and or Harley?
Do you want to talk here in the hallway? I'm sure there's someone nicer we can speak.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, I'll speak here.
Very well. I couldn't tell you what, well, I don't think your father wants Harley. That's the Godling.
Yes. We're all friends here. You can, yeah, Tali's name is Tali.
I just realized the music's playing twice again.
Yeah, it's been a bit.
We're going to just kill the music for a bit.
Yes, please.
Good old roll 20's annoying me. That's not an order that came from your father. That just came from upon high. Let's put it that way. As for you, your father told us that you had been kidnapped, and he wants his little darling boy back.
Kidnapped?
You were only supposed to be gone away for a couple of weeks, from what I understand, and then you went off gallivanting around Brattonshire, doing who knows what, in his words. And he wanted you back. So we struck a little bargain with your father.
Very much like my father to not just send a messenger, isn't it?
He didn't know where you were. So he asked us to use our intelligence agency to track you down. It's not like you had a forwarding address. Where were you staying? He didn't know.
It's more the than trying to take me and my friends by force. That seems to be really the sticking point there.
Well, that's not my doing. You can blame Esper for that. From what I understand, she spent some time analyzing you, and she identified that you hadn't been kidnapped. Either, in her words, you had thrown your lot in with some Brattonshire band of mercenaries, or you'd been indoctrinated somehow. And you weren't going to come willingly, so she organised a raid on your pub to draw you out and take you back home. Not how I would have done it. A bit too aggressive. But that wasn't my mission, so
That approach.
I let her make her own mistakes.
So that approach wasn't the approach that was dictated by Chadronethius Senior then.
Well, at the time, Chadronethius was senior. It's weird calling him that. I've only ever known him as Chadronethius. You're junior.
I'm
Anyway.
Chad.
Yes, you are.
I'm
Well,
Chad.
Chad. No, I mean, he was not in a position to make any orders at the time, because that's the thing. The condition of us using our organization to track you down was that your father was properly inducted into our ranks. He was a beneficiary. He was a monetary supporter, as you well know, up until now, but we made an agreement. We get the Warlord of 13 as a proper general of the messes. He is sent off some mission. I don't know where. Our whole thing is that everything is compartmentalized. I only know what I'm doing. He's out there somewhere doing some other business for the messes, as I understand now. But in turn, you are retrieved and brought back home.
Right, so he's not going to immediately know that this has failed.
No, not until he's informed as such. Obviously not something I could do in this position. Esper might try and save face, I don't really know. I never could get a read on that one.
Who is? You said this Esper has done some reconnaissance on us.
She spent some time with you, from what I understand.
And Chad's going to turn to Brask. But Brask, do you remember? Do you remember hanging out at any point socially with someone with a big bird mask? I don't. It doesn't ring any bells.
I'm not. You mean the seagulls?
Like the seagulls, but bigger. No, I don't remember. So, what do you mean?
So it's just so Adam understands, is Chad intentionally playing dumb here?
No, Chad doesn't. As we've established, Chad hasn't seen
Right.
the Esper is
of
Jenny
course.
Adler.
Sorry.
So Chad is trying to. I'm trying to get Chad onto the same page that I am, because he hasn't realized that yet.
I mean,
That's
the rest of the party can
Has
this.
Brass would have seen that.
in that case, Brask's response would have been like, "Only bad face is Jenny."
Yeah, Jenny Adler.
Yeah,
She's
from the
Esper.
fight just now.
Was that? I was behind a box. I didn't see.
Yeah.
Jenny Adler. That absolute.
I'm not familiar with the name, but Esper does like to go undercover. It's her thing. But yes, I understand she spent some time with you. Something about a troll or something.
Well, that's just rude, isn't it? It's
But yes, she identified you as a threat to the messes. Well done. Not many people get that level of recognition.
Probably because we kill so many.
That is true. Yes. Yeah. What was your name, by the way? I know we've met. We've met over dinner and things, but I never quite actually got your name.
Edvard Splint. A pleasure.
Edvard. Well, I wish I could say it was a pleasure, but it's clearly not.
Yeah. As you're talking, Tali makes you.
Yes. Yeah. I was about to say you accept.
Just also, Pebble and Christina, what are you guys doing? We'll come back to this.
So
you could be floating around listening to the conversation. You could be looking after Burchard.
I'm gonna.
You don't have to do anything actively.
Pebble's also gonna look after Burchard.
You're looking after Burchard, that's fine. Christina?
Yeah.
You doing anything active right now, or are you just holding back?
I'm gonna do a perception check to see what the other messes that got knocked over are up to, and see whether it's fine for me to get out of my disguise.
Sure, okay. You don't have to roll a perception check. Like, every other Messer agent who is on the platform is dead or unconscious, apart from one guy who's tied up. You are safe to lose your disguise.
I'm gonna do that and then just vibe.
Yeah, okay. So you hang around as well. Cool. So, sorry, Chad, what you were saying? Or Tali, one of you two.
No, it's all good. Yeah, I realised that Chad's just been talking for long enough for everyone to come back. So Tali and Ted will probably have.
The reason I think Tali is going to come into the room, and it doesn't matter what conversation happening, she doesn't care. She's going to go over to Splint and she's going to kick him.
Amazing. I wasn't expecting that.
And then she's going to crouch down next to his face, and then she's going to say, "What is this grey stuff on your skin?"
Yeah, so you kind of look square in the eyes of this mark on his face. Well, it's a blight is what it is.
Where does it come from? How did you get it? What is it? I've seen it before.
Well, I've been studying it. It's not a very well known about thing, but the term I've been using, and others, is a grey mark. They call it the grey mark. Not a very eventful name, but an effective one. It had previously been seen in those who work around Ica. Factory workers, that sort of thing.
So why do you have it?
He just sort of points to the eye. For my dutiful service to the messes, I was given let's call it an upgrade. A gift sourced from the Abyssal Sea. And it seems it has a very similar property to handling Ica.
I think Tali knows what the Abyssal Sea is, right?
Yeah, everyone knows what the Abyssal Sea is. The Abyssal Sea is basically the ocean.
Okay.
In this setting,
Sure,
the
but...
Abyssal Sea, so like, you used to be like the Atlantic Ocean or Pacific Ocean. The Abyssal Sea is the name of the ocean here. In this world, there is the continent you're on, which is the Arnhem Isles, and then there is just this endless ocean.
Oh.
It is pitch black, the sun never shines on the Abyssal Sea, and no one knows how fucking deep it goes.
Good. Convenient.
So, like, the world
No,
is... No one considers this world to be a globe, or considers it to be flat. There is the continent you're on, and then there is unknown.
Nice.
That is what this world is. So the Abyssal Sea is this endless dark ocean that surrounds the entire shores of the continent you're on.
Does Tali know anything else about the Abyssal?
Yeah, Tony, you know something else. And again, Chad probably knows this too. Probably Pebble. In terms of like a religious sense, the Abyssal Sea is considered to be another realm. Essentially, it is where souls go when they die. It leads. You can travel through it apparently to heaven or hell, and more importantly, it is the home, or the place at least, in which the god isn't quite the right term, but essentially the god of death, which is a creature called Fulsh, resides in the depths of the Abyssal Sea. In the kind of death myth around this world is your soul is taken into the ocean, and it is torn apart by Fulsh when you die. So the boatman you saw, Pebble, takes the souls, takes them to the ocean, drops them off, and then Fulsh tears them apart.
Nice.
And the good parts of their soul go to heaven, the bad parts of their soul go to hell, and the mundane parts of their soul just get obliterated.
Very nice.
Yes, you know that too.
For Tali's sake, it's also where I believe Intin operates out of occasion.
Yes, it is. Well.
Does Chris? Sorry.
Go on.
I was just going to ask because Christina's Costrand's on the coast, isn't it?
Yes.
How does that play into it?
To be honest, you would know this too. Like, you'd probably your society isn't. You don't follow the same religion that others do, so you'd question the sort of the religious part of it. But you do know it's this endless dark ocean that has some very strange monsters and stuff in it. So it's also very possible that the Fulsh part, this gigantic sea creature that devours souls, that bit might be correct. But yeah. But there are all sorts of weird things that are dredged up out of the ocean, including Ica. That's where it comes from.
Tali, sort of. So you got this eye, and it made you sick.
I got this eye, and it made me beyond human.
Okay, but it also made you sick.
The grey mark isn't a sickness, at least not in the early stages. It is just an affliction. One that I have successfully cured. This, what you see here, you see he has only got this grey mark around his eye, whereas when you guys saw Nura, she had it kind of all over her body and skin. Dimitri had it up to his fucking eye, like up past his elbows. Well, you, I think, saw some of my handiwork with the troll's blood. Turns out, troll's blood, an excellent cure for grey mark. You have to distill it and mix it with a few other things, but it effectively removes it. I tried to get the messes to fund me and creating a production line, essentially, to roll out to our troops and agents, but they weren't interested. They had other goals. They wanted me to focus on my mission.
What happened if you don't cure it?
I assume eventually the same thing that happens to those poor Ica workers. You go senile, you age twice as fast, and eventually die.
How does it spread? Is it contagious?
No, it is literally if you spend this kind of variant of grey mark is a little bit more unknown. It comes from, again, upgrading oneself. The more known about and documented version of grey mark happens to, again, workers, and it just comes from continued exposure to Ica.
Finally, I have a feeling like it's Burchard's normal job. He runs a pub, right? Is he at any risk of being exposed to Ica?
Not really.
She's gonna say, like, so do you use Ica to torture your prisoners by any chance? In any way? Do you store it here?
What a waste of Ica there to be. Ica's a fuel. I mean, there's loads on the train. That's how it runs. No, I wouldn't use Ica for that.
But you have to be around it for a long
shortage.
time, right? You have to be around it for a long time to get sick, right? Or
well, I've not tried it. I would assume so. Besides, there's a shortage in Brattonshire anyway.
Your
cure. Trouble with the supply lines.
Your cure.
Mm-hmm.
Supply lines that presumably you control.
I have nothing to do with the supply lines. The Brattonshire government, yes, okay, I'm part of that, but that's not my jurisdiction. There are various, oil platforms and etc. out in the seas, the southern seas. They dredge out the Ica from the ocean and bring it back inland. I've heard there's some terrible news, like raiders or pirates or something are attacking the vessels. Less and less is coming back to Brattonshire every day. Kind of awkward for a society that runs on so much industrial.
Do you have another cure? Or another batch of troll's blood?
Why?
You're not in a position to be asking the questions, though.
I'm just curious. I do, in fact, yes.
Where is it?
He sort of gestures behind him, like, well, in my office, I have a whole alchemical station there. I was in the process of creating a second vial when, Esper turned up. And then all this happened. So I could finish my work.
What you do, you know what happened with your agent in the basement. How?
Yes. There was a smile across his face, like, well, I told you this eye was an upgrade.
Is it something to do with the weird slug thing? There was Tali. There was a whole slug thing, and it's under a bucket. It's fine, unless it's incredibly strong. Or can burrow through.
I don't care about the slug chat. I care that you killed somebody. You murdered them when they were defenseless, but that's something for later.
Wow. some troubles in the party. But yes, you are correct. It is to do with the worm. It creates a psionic network of sorts. People with the Mysel worm is what it's called. They can communicate across long distances. And then us who are lucky enough to have what's called a Myslcontroller, we are granted a few extra benefits. We can see through their eyes. Messages are filtered back through us.
My father had one of these.
Not yet. Like I said, he was not a Messer agent until very recently. He might get one soon. Depends.
I'm fascinated that my father has been out of, as far as I know, he's been out of physical action for quite some time. You're really going to benefit from someone who's been sat behind a desk for the best part of my entire life? I can't see that. Surely he'd be more useful to you as a political agent.
Your father's never run for politics, you know that, and I think this may be a fault of your age, I suppose. You spent a lot of time training with your father, I imagine. He taught you the way of the sword. But the reason your father was the warlord of the 13 is not because of his prowess with a sword on the field. It was because of his prowess at the head of an army. The man is a tactical genius. And that is sharp as ever.
The messes are stepping up their game from whatever you'd call it, small time to big time.
The messes have never stopped being big time. But again, I don't know what's going on. Compartmentalize, as I say. I only know what's happening here. I might be wrong. Maybe they do want to be a politician. Maybe they want to. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with him. I can only imagine. But like I said, tactical genius.
And what happens to you if you don't? Well, when you don't succeed in this particular mission?
That's a very good question. I've yet to fail. I guess we'll find out together.
I'm just gonna go and get the big painting.
Yep.
That has the sword in it. She's gonna go lift it off the wall and bring it and put it in front of Splint.
There's as you walk around the corner and you come back with the painting. There's a confused look on his face, like, of all the things in that office, are you a collector of art now?
No.
Bring the Dawn, very famous piece. That is a replica, unfortunately. I have the real thing back in my mansion.
Who is this? What is this? What is this?
He looks at you, Chan, like, well, here's a history lesson. Come on. You know who that is, surely. Roll me history check, Chad.
Yep. 16.
16. Well, before I say anything, Will, can you guess who this is? I'll tell you.
Presumably, this is Chadmetheus the First.
No, it's not quite right.
No?
It's kind of right round though. This is Erdinand Messer.
The king!
The king.
Of course it is. Yes, sorry. I've literally got it written down. Yeah.
This is Erdinand Messer. This is at the. This is during a battle when his armies, attacked Bretonshire. There was called the Battle of Ostwith, and his last stand before he perished.
What's his name again?
Erdinand Messer.
Erdinand.
Yeah, I can write it down for you if you want. And the piece is titled, as he said, called "Bring the Dawn," which was a famous battle cry of Erdinand Messer's. He used to shout "Bring the Dawn" before or during every battle, essentially.
You've never stopped wishing that was that things went differently there.
See, I'm a more complex member of the Messers, I suppose you might say. I'm not a Riverdanian. I don't hold the patriotism that your kin do. The Riverdanians, the ones who believe in Erdinand Messer, the ones who think he should have won and became king of all of Arnhem, they believe through and through. They are raised by their parents, drinking that particular bottle of wine, as it were. No, I used to despise the Riverdanians. Until I despised the Bretonshire worse.
Yeah, but just this is Ferdinand Messer. This
It was your father who
self-proclaimed
introduced me to the Messers
king.
originally. A Brattonshire diplomat in Riverdanian politics. They got to me, made me an offer I could not refuse, and after I finished my time as a diplomat within the Riverdanian government and came back to the Brattonshire government, well, that's when I became a member in earnest.
That's nice, but what is this sword? Was this his sword? Is it famous?
Yes, it's called the Crimson End.
Where did he get it? Do you know? Are there legends?
The legends say it's his sword.
Okay.
This
And
was
that's
hundreds
it.
of years ago. Like I wasn't around. I don't know.
There must be stories, myths, legends.
It is his sword. That is the story.
That it looks like this, and it's just a sword.
Oh, it's probably a magic item of some sort, I'd imagine. This mythical weapon. I don't know where he got it from. Closely guarded secret, from my understanding. And no one's known where it is since.
There isn't. You don't have people in your in your group in the messes who know, who have heard.
Roll me an insight check.
Oh man, 9.
9. You pick up nothing else. He just continues like, it was lost when he fell.
Where?
He lost
Did
the Battle of Ostwith, but that isn't where he died.
Where did he die?
Somewhere on Brattonshire soil.
You got nothing more specific than that.
Fortunately not.
And now was the last time people saw the sword, or was this battle when
It's the last time they saw Ferdinand Messer.
That's not what I asked.
One and the same. He was never parted from that weapon. He carried it until the last time anyone ever saw him.
I'm guessing they never recovered a body.
No.
How did he die?
Unknown.
He just
He was routed in the battle. Him and a few loyal generals fled, tactical retreat, and they never made it back to Riverdale. Presumably, they were killed by some Brattonshire soldiers or some such.
And you really have heard of no stories of this person's glory in the battlefield, the feats he could accomplish with this weapon?
Oh, it was a brutal weapon. Apparently, it could slice through armor like butter.
Here we go. Anything else?
There are so many tales. Who knows what is true? It sliced through enemies like butter. Glue with a heat all into itself as it was fresh off the forge. I don't believe in myths. If I ever saw the weapon, I would then decide what it can do.
Holly's gonna just kind of, I guess, go back to the office and look around for anything else that is a note.
Roll me an investigation check.
She just walks off in a huff.
Yeah. As you walk off, he looks at Chad and Brass and says, like, any more questions at the moment? Or are we going to continue staying in this underground tunnel for the rest of the day?
What roll was I making?
Investigation.
Can I make a perception? Or no? Is it more?
Sure, why not?
18.
You already rolled perception there. You're like, I want to do perception.
Yes. I have a +6. Yes, I
That's
want to use
fair. Let me
anything that
find-
looks, shiny or interesting, important, etc.
Yes. Like in the video game, there are items that glow because they're like, this is an important item. Look
You
at
get
this.
the controller rumble.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's got an outline around it?
You see a few things. You see by the chemical lab a note basically confirming exactly what he told you about troll's blood. So, experimentation with the troll's blood I collected when mixed with other more common healing poultices has proven successful in expunging the effects of the grey mark upon my skin. Need to formalize the recipe, but shouldn't be too long before a mass rollout amongst members should be possible. It seems to be an older note, and as he's told you, that was rejected. But you also got one. Well, just quickly, one other thing. Again, confirming some other stuff. There's a typewriter on his desk, and you can see in it there is a letter he was writing that it's half complete. This will tell you, again, nothing new that he hasn't told you already, but dear Chadronethius, I'm glad we have someone of your talent properly joining our cause. It's good to have the warlord of Vertine on our side. My operation has become a farce. We kidnap peasants to dig in the Pridmore for a fable. And worse still, I am constantly being kept in the dark about our goals. All along, it had been stated that our goal in Bretonshire has been the search for the lost city, Thorinar. But now I received new instructions stating that once we enter the city, we are to travel from there to a second location called the Shining Barbican. I am at my wit's end with a lack of respect and constantly changing goals. It has led me to believe that Wolfram is losing his mind since his accident, and I wonder if new leadership should be considered. And there are trails off there, as he clearly didn't finish writing this message.
Can you send that? Because I want to take notes.
Yes, I can. I will put that in chat for everyone.
Hey.
There's a few extra things.
Chad will be very, very interested to read all that.
And Tali would likely rip it off of the typewriter and bring it back to the group, and said, she would hand it to Chad.
Yeah, okay. So anyone who wants to have read that information has access to that information right now.
Beautiful.
Yes, sorry, go.
That's right. Just one question to Adam, and then one question from Chad to Thingy.
Yep.
The troll's blood thing, that's a revelation, isn't it? We didn't know beforehand that the messes were involved in what was going on with Woyolf.
You did. So you found that where the old lady Rosalind told you that this alchemist kept coming before.
Yes.
There was a bag where the bag had been left behind with some vials of troll's blood with some notes in it that had been ruined by the blood.
Yeah,
and
but we didn't know it was...
you didn't confirm anything, but you did. Oh, he did tell you that it was a guy in a white coat, which matched the description of Splint. So you did kind of piece together that Splint had been visiting the troll.
Okay.
But the revelation about it curing Greymark, that's new to you.
Yeah.
As well.
And just to confirm, my father only knows the extent to what Esper, whatever her name is, Jen, has reported back. Is that correct?
I would assume as such, yes. If she's even communicated back at all, I would imagine she's looking to impress leadership. She probably hasn't said anything back yet. I think she'd prefer to just arrive, you slung over her shoulder, proverbially, then report anything so far. What she does now, however, complete mystery to me. I have no idea what she will do.
Ooh.
You meant your letter mentions you're taking people to dig for Thorinar.
Yes.
Is that where the gnomes and dwarves?
Correct.
What do you do? You kidnap them, put them in a box, and send them.
I send them to Fort Erlington, where they are handled by someone else, another agent, another squad.
Why gnomes and dwarves?
We're looking for a dwarven city. Dwarves have a penchant for digging, and if anyone's going to know how to find a dwarven city deep down in the dark reaches of a mountain, it will be them. Gnomes only because there's not enough dwarves kicking around in this city, and they are a similar size. It's quite as good at digging, and they can't see in the dark as well, but they fit into those tunnels all the same.
You have to stop taking people.
Well, I'm not exactly in a position to do it anymore, am I?
Well,
A demeaning quest, anyway. I should have been doing something far more important.
Okay, so we're agreed. Whatever happens here, you're not going to take any more people.
Again, I'm clearly not in a position to do that.
Okay, but Tali doesn't know what happens now. And later down the line, if you're free, how do we know you're not just going to come back and take more people?
Can I roll an insight check at that point just to see if Chad has picked up on how, because this guy's been very chatty, and just to get, because I think Chad would be hearing that he'd potentially be able to answer that question.
Yep.
For Edvard. Depending on how well he can see. It's an 18.
18, okay. So you're trying to figure out if this guy is gonna.
Chad's assumption there with an 18 is that this guy is, he genuinely feels like he's stuck in the middle of he doesn't want to be doing this type of thing. I don't think we need to be. Let's just be like, look, he's not bullshitting us on this, Tali. He really. He wouldn't. He would be returning to Messer work, but he wouldn't be returning to this specific Messer work. That's what my assumption is. But carry on.
As Chad thinks he's not going to return. He'll return to Messer work. He won't return to this Messer work. With an 18, you spot this just before everyone else spots this. That eye in his head, there's a small crack through it suddenly. And you just watch as he just goes dead still.
And
just falls over.
Splint. There we go.
Hits the wall and just starts slumping down the wall.
Oh, but he didn't finish the thing. Tali is like, she's not okay right now. She seems unreasonably upset that Splint's dead. Like she tries to shake him, she tries to slap him.
Yeah.
Chad's
immediately.
Do you want to do a medicine check?
Yep, medicine check.
Can I spare the dying?
1 more medicine check. Both of you first.
10.
10, okay.
Ooh, also 10.
10 is enough. Splint isn't dead. He's breathing. He's just effectively brain dead in this moment.
Shit! It's worse though. It's basically it's the same. It's almost the same for what Tali.
And as you are there looking at this sudden vegetable that was Splint, who was talking and obviously clearly mobile a moment ago, well, that is where we will end today's session.
Whoa,
as a crack, I'll say, Tyler, you see there was some crack, almost like it was glass, just cracked through his eye. Oh yeah, actually, 1 minute Arcana check. I'll let you do that.
Yeah. Come on. Fuck, I'm writing that one. I don't know shit. I'm upset.
You have no idea what's going on. But there was like a crack in it, like it was glass, and then he just stopped. But still clearly alive.
Could I do an Arcana check?
Go on, give me an Arcana check.
Yeah, just to round it off. 17.
Wow.
17. Picking up bits and pieces here. You heard that there's this thing called Mysel worms, which are those things that obviously Nura had one in her head. You heard there was some sort of psionic network. He referred to his thing as a Myslcontroller that allowed him some benefits over greater powers over the Mysel worm. You wonder if maybe there's almost like a rank higher. And someone has basically just hit the kill switch on Splint.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And essentially just removed him from the equation.
Mm.
And if he was able to see through Nura's eyes, someone potentially was able to see through his eyes.
Someone has seen all of that.
And that is where we will end today's session.
Also, I'm worried about Jenny. Jenny could have, jumped.
She got away. Yeah, she could have jumped off. She could have gone all the way to Fort Erlington, wherever that is.
But she could have, she could be coming back.
She could be going back. You don't know.
To,
but she did
destroy us a little bit more.
That's where we end today's session.
Intrigue.
So good news though, you'll level up.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Cool.
Really?
Having put an end to Splint and solving the mystery of why the Gnomes and Dwarves are being kidnapped and sent off to Fort Erlington. Which you probably could put this together pretty easily. Bogwatch is Fort Erlington. Because they were sending them off to dig in the Pridmore. Pridmore, the nearest fort is Bogwatch, which is a colloquial name for Fort Erlington. You hear about those military bases like in Siberia where people send them almost like a punishment. That's Bogwatch. Which is what it's called because its real name is Fort Erlington. So they are going there. But anyway, yes, you will level up. So we'll sort that out between sessions. But well done, everybody.
Yeah.
As we move into the next
very
chapter.
nice.
Of course, you still have the wrist thing on Pebble, but it's about to pull his arm off.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm going to be dragging your asses to bloody Moorgrove Manor, being like,
I think you have. I'll check maybe between sessions, but I think you have 2 days left, basically, today and tomorrow, to get him there. So
oh god.
Before you can do
Not
almost
happy
anything
about
else, you have to arrive there.
Where did Icredor go? Anyway.
Icredor did not come with.
Right. Cool.
He opened up the teleportation circle and was like, "Good luck!" and set you off. But yes. Also, with the thing with him dying, by the way, he was a very chatty man, as you noticed. I basically said until 5 o'clock, and then he dies.
Oh, nice.
I gave you until 5 o'clock to talk to him, and he will say as much as he wants, and then he dies.
Yeah, but now we need to find someone who knows how to do alchemy.
But yes, he didn't complete the alchemy work. Like, what he was going to do whatever you basically told him to do, because his goal was to get out of this situation alive. And he's technically not dead. But anyway, Ryan, who do you want to give the hero token to next session?
Hey.
Oh, good question. I think or taking on a train. I think I'm going to give it to Tali.
Hey.
We're just going, hey, there's a train. Let's break it.
I'm going to fight this train. Yeah. Excellent.
I like that very much.
So, Tali, you have the token for next session.
Yeah.
Cool.
Who will win? One very tired godling, or a big choo-choo boy?
Choo-choo boy.
Very tired godling.
Very tired, very stressed godling.
Very stressed, and that's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very stressed.
Very stressed. Cool. All right. Let's wrap this up then. So, let's put my outro. Yes. So cool. And thank you everyone for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this game. We'll obviously pick up here in next time with essentially the opening of a new chapter. It's up to you guys. Although I'm pretty sure you're probably going to go to Moorgrove Manor, if not immediately, at least the second thing you're probably going to do. Although I imagine maybe a sleep is in order first.
Maybe getting Burchard back to the pub.
Yeah, that's what I mean, like a sleep and stuff. In fact, we'll probably pick up with you guys back at the pub. I think realistically.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, we can. Yeah, fine. We talk about it.
That's fine.
We won't pick up immediately back in the tunnel, I guess is my point I'm making, but we can talk about where you and what we're doing. Yes, if you obviously enjoyed watching our show today, you can catch us again here in 2 weeks' time as we pick up. If you turn on notifications, you'll get a reminder when we go live. If you want to rewatch our last session, that's on our YouTube right now, and this session will be on YouTube next weekend.
Wow, technology.
You can also find us on Twitter, where we tweet things like lovely pictures of cats that are drawn and other things, as well as telling you when we're going live. And that's been it, guys. So we've been Small and Nighty, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one.